Neitz in a pretty good position, but the kick faded. But Neitz still made up ground. David Neitz for goal number 9. He's got it. Neitz at 9.
It was a career best 9 goals for David Neitz when they met the Blues back in 2002. He's since gone on to kick 21 goals in his last 6 games against Carlton. Great record here at the Telstra Dome, booted 67 in his last 19 at almost an average of 4 goals a game. He'll head to the centre for the toss of the coin as we head boundary side and welcome Richard Osborne.
Well, interestingly, I tried to get some information out of Melbourne in regard to Travis Johnson. It's almost laughable, actually. It's not as if we're not going to find out what's wrong with him. All I could get was he had a 6-day break and he's got leg soreness. So that's all I can say, folks. Sorry about that. But the condition of the ground, absolutely perfect. History's going to say that Melbourne should win this one pretty easily. But, you know, Carlton got nothing to play for except having a win. So who knows, boys? Could go either way.
D's have won the toss. David Neitz and the Melbourne side will kick to the left of screen in the opening term as we welcome Wayne Schwass and Tony Shaw to the telecast. And Shawry, I've been on a Guatemalan Kentucky tour with Dennis Pagan for much of the week. Just a quiet week, mate. Nothing to report?
Yeah, very quiet, Jason. Matter of fact, went for a walk this morning and that's all. Got the dog out and that was it, mate. So, no, it's been a very quiet week in football. Looking forward to this game. A little bit of a danger game when you talk about the class that's missing from this Melbourne side with Aaron Davey, Byron Pickett and Travis Johnson. You would hope that they are good enough to win this, Melbourne. But Carlton, they haven't played bad football. I know they haven't won game for a long period of time. They've been competitive, just had to stop their turnovers in general play, and they will remain competitive.
Good afternoon, Wayne Schwass. We've seen a bit of the Blues in recent weeks. If they can string 4 quarters together, they could be dangerous this afternoon.
Well, we could say that almost every week with the Blues, but in saying that,
I think we do.
Yes, we do. These are danger games for sides finals bound, but there's a lot at stake here, Shawry, for the Demons, because a win today then catapults them 2 games clear of the current 4th place side, and that's St Kilda.
Oh, very important if you're talking double chance. And, gee, that talent, though, is Travis Johnson. Well, he's got leg soreness and he's had a short break, but you'd hope he's pretty well fit at this time of the year, wouldn't you think?
Do you ever miss with leg soreness, Shawry?
No, not leg soreness.
No, you wouldn't be standing out at this time of year. It should it'd be an intriguing game to see how both teams go about it, how they present themselves. The Demons have been outstanding. They've turned things around this year, and just their defensive strategies, the way they go about setting up, looks like they really focus on shutting down the opposition beforehand, whereas I think probably in the last few years they've been running a bit forward optimistically.
Blues just need to focus on retaining possession, not butchering the football. They've got the potency up forward to kick a winning score. Kudafiti's going to the top of the goal square. Jared Wade will start at full forward. Brendan Favola out at centre-half forward for the Blues. They've got 4 or 5 names in their forward 50 that are very, very talented players and capable of kicking it a score. The question is, can they deliver it to them in a fashion where they can strut their stuff? Saturday afternoon football. Great to have your company right around the country on Fox Footy. Carlton and Melbourne at the Telstra Dome. Here's Wayne Schwass.
Early tap there to White. The Blues, they'll go forward first. Wiggins, high ball. In front, Fisher. Good contest, Rivers. Interesting matchup there for the Demons and the Blues. High ball, Bate. Running back, but Sylvia. Good strong mark over the top. Opening minute, first term. Bate pushes forward, but Carazzo did it well. Read it best. Out of bounds, we'll have a throw in.
Nick Stevens is trying to go with Colin Sylvia, and Bartram is trying to tag Nick Stevens. So a bit of a merry-go-round going on midfield at the moment.
Throw in, 65 metres from the Demons' goal. White, French. Worked his way to the front there, Barnaby. McDonald to Bate. In the direction of Green. Got a nice shepherd from McLean. Well, Carroll had to do the hard work there. Bate, a couple of early touches to McLean. Goes long. Holland will fly. Big pack form. Staying down was Wiggins. Holland did well. Got it to Neitz. Could have opened up and gone for a shot himself. Squared the ball to Ward. Lost his footing. Demons have the numbers. Wheatley. Blues doing well. Kudafiti's
with class. One-handed pick up under pressure. The kick set for Vola, a task on centre wing, but he got a kind bounce. No, he left it behind. Carroll will tidy up for the D's. Handball out to Nathan Brown. Brown to Wheatley, who can launch it long. Goes to 60, spears to Bartram inside 50. Play on the call. Pressure came from Wiggins. Ball spills to Bate. Goes to the top of the square. McGrath thumps it through for a rush behind.
We've seen already, Jason, in the first few minutes, a lot of players slipping over. I mean, we go on most weeks. The ground does look in very good condition, but players already struggling to hold their footing.
Yeah, got it in one, Lynchy. It is, looks nice and green, but it is a little bit lush.
Stevens to Houlihan. No 15 to Scotland, who's knocked up getting touches this season. Had a super year numbers-wise, Scotland. Houlihan's running out of space. Scotland under pressure as well. Thornton leaves it behind. It's an inevitable turnover. It's got that feeling about it. Bate was in there, wrapped up by Thornton, and the Blues will break even. 55 from Melbourne's goal.
And even on that instance there, Houlihan was just trying to get out of trouble, but just slipping, lost his composure and caused the turnover.
French against White. It's going to be a pivotal duel this afternoon. Wigan's got one in the back and get a free kick. Releases McGrath. Hoisted high towards half forward. Favola will set himself. Has to punch from behind. Spills to the back of the contest. Whelan out wide to James McDonald, the quiet achiever in this Melbourne side. McDonald goes to forward 50. It was a beautiful kick to Bate. Just needs to measure from 45. Go for it and put it through for the opening goal. Tidy finish from Matthew Bate. Melbourne on the board after 3 minutes. They're 1-1. The Blues yet to score. Saturday afternoon football on Fox.
Well, he's become a very important player, Matthew Bate, because when you talk about Davey out of the side, Pickett out of the side, and Johnson, someone has to take the load. And it looks like Matthew Bate, Colin Sylvia, and Adam Uze, of course, are those peripheral forwards. He's a tough player, and he kicks the ball long. It looks like he's gone in the middle of the ground now, but a talented player, Matthew Bate.
17 possessions and 1 goal, 1 last week, Matthew Bate. We're 3 minutes into the first quarter here at the Telstra Dome, and he's the leading possession winner on the ground with 4 possessions and a goal. Terrific start, young man. Game number 9, I should say. Neither ruckman got a tap down, but French kick partly smothered. Loose ball, Fisher dispossessed. Scotland to Betts in heavy traffic, goes to Houlihan. Around the corner. Carroll beaten by a bad bounce. White in pursuit of Favola. Needs to be clean, Brendan. Good pressure, Jeff White. Out of bounds on the full. Great reward. The Demons will relieve.
And that's where Melbourne have been good. That extra pressure, when you don't have possession of the ball, to chase hard, and that's what Aaron Davies and Byron Pickett have brought to the team, and obviously they're not there today, so to fill that void is exactly what Jeff White's done there.
Number 1 tackling side of the competition, Melbourne, season 2006. Short ball from Bartram to Whelan.
There used to be a theory that you couldn't tackle if you had the ball, but you look over recent years and the best tackling teams in the competition, they're the ones winning the premierships.
Matthew Whelan, 32 possessions, a career high last week. Gave it to Brad Green. Fisher floats back and takes the mark. Squares it up to Carazzo.
Looks like Nick Stevens is playing nearly full back for Carlton, boys.
Well, I think he's run with Colin Sylvia. They've got one-on-one matchups right across the ground. That's not working for Carlton.
Fisher inside 50. Lappin versus Ward. Turned him around. Favola there lurking. Tried to paddle to Lappin. Lappin tried to handball to Betts. Couldn't get it through the traffic. Favola still in there working hard for the Blues. Whelan, he's wrapped up and dispossessed. Ball spills to the line. Lappin keeps it alive. Is bumped over by Uze just as he went to make contact with the football. Melbourne players claiming out of bounds on the full. Let's take another look. Well, the question was whether the ball was out before he kicked it. Boundary umpire said it was, so he'll throw it in. French tried to get it down to Bentick. Scotland shrugged a tackle, gave it to McGrath. Left foot snap from Corey McGrath, floats towards the square. 4 players underneath this, spills off the hands of Waite. Carroll there, stands tall for the D's. Handball missed the target of Bruce. James McDonald down back, tidying up. Gets it to Carroll. And now they work it out to Ben Holland.
Not prepared to concede, the Demons. Very confident down back in defence. McLean got his hands on it. McGrath does the mopping up, goes to Koutafidis, keeps it low, and he's got Barnaby French. You'd think too far for Barnaby. Goes back, loads up. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a long ball to the edge of the line, but won't get the distance. Terrific mark, reading it well. Last line of defence, Cameron Bruce.
And poor choice, really. It was long to the goal square to Eddie Betts, basically. There was no chance of kicking the goal. And obviously Eddie Betts under a one-on-one contest was always going to struggle.
Didn't spot the leads, French. The likes of Whitnall had already let out. White goes to half forward. Walker gets across the front of the contest, fist it clear. Now has to contest at ground level against Neitz. The Melbourne skipper tracks it towards the line. They'll have a throw in 35 metres out from the Melbourne goal. Nathan Carroll busy early, up to 7 possessions. Bates got 6 for the D's, while Houlihan and Scotland, along with Corey McGrath, have 3 apiece for Carlton. French and White. White the double-hander at the front. Ben Holland, tidy one-handed pickup. McGrath flipped it out. White to Sylvia. Now Robertson off a step. Quick snap at goal. Missed everything. Out of bounds on the full.
Well, they don't lack effort, Carlton, do they? They're trying to put the pressure on. Whether their skills can hold up over this time during the game, we'll have to wait and see.
Lappin worked hard for the Scotland kick. Still deep inside defensive 50. 1-1 Melbourne. Carlton yet to score. McGrath has worked hard through the middle of the ground. He can go, Corey McGrath. Has a bounce. Inside the centre circle. High ball. Will it have the carry on for Vola? It doesn't matter. Read it well. Carroll couldn't get back. And the Blue Spearhead will go back and line up for his first goal in Carlton's this afternoon.
And Nathan Carroll just got sucked into watching the ball in flight and didn't know where his opponent was. And Brendan Favola just got off him. He lost the ball in the sun there for a few seconds, but was good enough to get both hands onto it. And you'd reckon this man from this position, he's absolutely certainty to slot this through.
5 goals from his 10 possessions last week. 65 goals, 38. Make that 69 goals, 38 for the year. Brendan Favola, the Blues are on the board.
Well, he's good for 4 goals a game at the Telstra Dome this year. That's his first this afternoon, 1-1 to a goal. Great running from Corey McGrath. On screen, we just saw the back end of it when he received the football, but sure, he ran 30 or 40 metres just to create the space to set up that play.
Well, that's what you want when you're a forward, because Favola got behind Carroll, and McGrath, by running with the ball, became an 80-metre player. So he gets over the line. Amazing to see two of the best midfielders in the competition, Nick Stevens and Cameron Bruce, both nearly playing, you would think, at full back for their teams. You know, just trying to release the tags, I would think, both coaches.
Dennis Pagan before the game just mentioning that Nick Stevens, when he plays in the middle, cops a lot of attention with not much support around, so they've been trying to play him back a little bit just to try and release the pressure on him. McDonald's handball smothered. Koutafidis the gather. Kicks towards half forward. Fisher stretches out. He and Favola maybe just got in each other's way there. Brendan still has possession, takes it to the line. We'll have a throw in.
And obviously, Jace, Cameron Bruce last week, outstanding on Brad Johnson as fullback. He can take all sorts. He plays forward, plays through the midfield, and can take a leading forward.
Bruce himself kicked 7 goals against the Blues back in 2004. He's just about as versatile as they come. Brock McLean wins the free kick.
I don't think that'll be the first time that he cops a high one from McGrath. They've been at it all afternoon already, the two of them.
Brown at it all morning. I was going to say that'd be tight tagging. He was with him from the moment he woke up. Carroll run down by Betts, but didn't stick the tackle. It is done well. Can he finish it off? Gives it to Brendan Favola, who fumbles at the crucial moment from the angle. Favola, beauty!
And that is making the very easy extremely hard. But what a very good goal. And the good thing, and I've just been watching Eddie Betts in the first 10 minutes of this game, his work rate has been down, but he chased hard, caused a turnover from a mistake from Nathan Carroll, but just his work ethic to run hard, get the second effort and give the handball off. It was well done in the end, and nice goal in the end for Vola after a big mistake.
I don't know what Nathan Carroll was what he was thinking, because he was trying to handball off. We know he doesn't like kicking the ball, but the player was within 2 metres of him, surrounded by 2 Carlton players.
2 goals to Brendan Favola. Carlton have the lead. Broke his hand the week in the lead up to last weekend's game, and I think that hand's still causing him problems. He's dropped a couple of balls, but, well, what a remarkable goal that was by Brendan Favola. Certainly made it look easy as Green leads in the race. Happy to see it out of bounds. Gentle shot from Houlihan. We'll have a throw in.
I'll tell you what, some good signs for Carlton here, because the reason being, they've probably got, when you talk about Pickett, Davey and Johnson out, you're looking at 5-goal start. So that is a great bonus to Carlton at the moment.
Godfrey, quick hands to Bate. Getting plenty of the ball towards the pocket. Good kick. Too much carry on. No, out of bounds on the full. Well, I thought that was in. The umpire's in a much better position to call that than I am. Simpson. As Whitnell short. Right half back. Blues have steadied. Carazzo ambles along the 50-metre arc, just wants something to present. Now he goes out wide, outer side of the ground. Bouncing ball, Simpson needs closing. Did well on that occasion, Simpson. Got it to Thornton. Feigned the handball. Confident play, Whitnell.
And good pressure the D's to hold Carlton in their back half.
Walker works. Got a kind bounce. One-handed gather. Off a step. Heads up the line. And Wheatley got a shepherd from the Carlton runner.
Well done.
Wiggins working hard, the Blues, starting to link up well.
McGrath's working hard.
Waite. Second attempt. Just needs to get a handball free. Did well. Got it to Stevens. Can have a bounce. Nick Stevens closes to 40 in the shadows of Telstra Dome across the face of goal. Here's the first behind for the Blues this afternoon. 2-1 leads, 1-1.
They're the opportunities they've got to nail. When they set them up, the Blues look sharp at the moment. They lead by a goal. 12.5 minutes gone in the opening term.
And yes, Corey McGrath is working very hard off the ball. He's running to create space as well as when he's got the ball in the hand. 6 disposals early in the game.
As we said at the start of the game, Carlton's competitive instincts and ability to match it with sides for periods of the game, unquestioned. It's just being able to put it together for 4 quarters of football that's proven the difficulty for them. At the moment, they're having a good period here against Melbourne. Jamar's kick, handball rather, to Ward, whose kick was smothered. Luke Blackwell sneaks in for the Blues. Here's Stevens in the middle of the ground. You give it to Favola from 55. Decides to do the team thing, chips it over the top and finds Lappin 20 metres out. Could have blazed away, saw Lappin at the last moment and weighted the kick beautifully.
Well, that's unlike a full forward, Alistair. It's to pass the ball like that when you're within 60 metres, but very unselfish play by Brendan Favola.
Now, it's a good sign, and who set that up or was involved in that play? Nick Stevens. He's got himself away from full-back, which is... Obviously, I think Carlton have gone out with the mindset you're going to go one-on-one with your opponent. Very good work for the Demons to take him to full-back. Now he's released back into the midfield.
Lappin, after a couple of weeks in the twos, slots it through. The Blues have got 3. Margin out to 12 points on Saturday afternoon. Football here on Fox. Carlton 3-1, Melbourne 1-1. We've played 14 minutes. Here's Tony Shaw and Alistair Lynch.
Well, they are working hard, and I think it's coming off the half-back line. Melbourne with a number of key players, as I said, those small peripheral forwards in Davey and Pickett. They run the lines and they burst through forward 50. That is where they're falling down, Melbourne, at the moment. They've pushed Neats up the centre-half forward, so they see that as a problem because they haven't been able to carry the lines there, Melbourne. Great start to Carlton, the Carlton Footy Club.
Melbourne opened up the game with the first goal to Matthew Bate 2 minutes in. The Blues, they've responded the last 11 minutes. They've kicked the last 3. Jones got the handball moving forward in the direction of Neats. Tapped it out. Good play to Ward towards the pocket. Steering kick. And it's a good one. Nathan Brown.
Gee, that's the sort of delivery into the forward line you'd like as a leading forward. Just fantastic skills. Just been very sluggish at the start. Demons have done this on a few occasions this year.
20 possessions last week, Nathan Brown. And that's not a good one this afternoon. Out of bounds on the foot.
I tell you what they identified, though, Melbourne. They took Nathan Brown, the full forward, and Kate Simpson, who's been a fantastic winger for Carlton, is also nearly playing fullback for Carlton now.
Well, you can see that in the coach's box, they're very much thinking about where they want the Carlton players to be situated.
Stevens, another possession.
Great kick.
To centre-half back and finds Wiggins. Again, some more hard run to create for the Blues, and that's when they look most dangerous. You can't see it on your screen at the moment, but just panning wide, Carlton running very, very hard into open space all over the ground. And when they do that, they look dangerous. There's another example. Koutafidis ran 50 metres to get on the end of that one from Whitnell. Goes to Stevens.
Yep.
To Favola, centre-half forward.
Here's Nick Stevens is on, boys.
Is he right? Well, that was a great... Whether they meant that, Dennis Pagan, to play him as a defender, to drop the tag early, then push him into the midfield. Bartram, who's been a very good tagger, hasn't been able to cope with that move, Alistair, and, gee, he's having a lot of possession now, Nick Stevens.
Yep, and Carlton's problems, as we've touched on, Jason, the turnovers, they've hit the targets early in this game. If they can keep this going, guys like Brendan Favola will be dining out.
This for goal number 3. This is as good a kick from outside 50 as anyone in the game. We'll kick this one from about 55.
Oh, got close. He got too close.
I fixed him.
Yeah,
Colin Sylvia on the turnover. Whitnell's got a bit of work to do here. Ben Holland sweating on him. Whitnell handball to himself, heads towards the line. And we'll have a throw in 55 metres out. Let's take another look.
You are drilled as a defender to mark the mark, point it out to the umpire and get back off. Just put a bit of doubt in the player's mind. Obviously, Brendan Favola didn't have a handle on where the mark was and just kicked into it. And you just saw all his teammates' heads drop as he kicked into the man on the mark.
Throw in. Forward 50 for the D's. Whitnell at the front, got the tap. Nathan Jones couldn't quite take clean possession. Lappin's dispossessed. Blackwell to Whitnell. Now Carazzo. Blackwell's got it again for the Blues. Winning some clearances at the moment, Carlton.
Poor disposal, lets himself down. Uze, 5 goals last week. Game number 250. High ball only as far as Walker. Did it well. He's got a big job this afternoon, Shorey, on Russell Robinson.
Has he what? But gee, he stood up the last month, Andrew Walker. He's had some big tasks playing in defence and has had a fantastic month of football.
Matthew Lappin coming up for his 3rd possession. Already has a goal to his name. Koutafidis does the flying. Roving on that occasion. Fisher kept it in. Wiggins on the ground. Couldn't take possession. Jones tumbles it forward. Congested forward 50. Walker attacks it. Did well. Put his body on the line, the young man. Got the ball moving forward. Gets it to Blackwell. Linking up well now, the Blues. Carazzo out of defensive 50. Fisher standing start. Doesn't have a lot on. Well called, Lynchy. Whitnell will fly. All he had to do was bring it down. He did that. Betts couldn't take clean possession. The Diesel rebound.
He was ready to pounce, Betts, but lost his footing. Jones, poleaxed by Chris Bryan. Play on the call. Green, inside 50 to Bate. And this youngster is all class, Matthew Bate. The Blues playing with confidence, but they just need to make sure they maintain their concentration and their precise disposal. Bate hurries the kick and misses to the left-hand side.
The disposal has been good. It's up over 80% at the start of the game. Just then, coming out of the back line, they had no one forward of the ball. Lance Whitnell worked hard to make a contest, but it was Eddie Betts, and he's been on the end of the ball a few times. They've just got to make sure they don't push too far back into defence.
Carazzo receives the kick in. Goes to centre wing, City side. Stevens has position. Bartram did well at the front. Now at ground level. Bartram emerges with the football. There's good poise from the youngster. Goes to half forward. Holland interfered with, will take a free kick. A kick from 55 metres out. Wants to move it quickly. He's got White inside 50 unmarked. And they're the lapses in concentration we speak of with the Blues.
And Ben Holland's been a very good, probably inclusion this year, really, for the Demons. He wasn't sure where his career was at, but he's been able to play as a 3rd tall forward and defender at times, and provides a good option and an obvious free kick there.
Jeff White. He's kicked 8 goals for the season. 8 goals, 3 to be precise. Just from just outside 50. Makes good contact. And just misses.
Important time now for Carlton. I think Dennis Pagan might tell him to play a little bit of tempo football here. Keep possession. There's only about 6 minutes to go in the quarter, and what you need is to keep this advantage up.
Well, that's a waste because I thought Bryant was going to give it the big wolf. Gets it back from Carazzo. Lets himself down. The Demons, they need to make usage of the forward thrusts, but not on this occasion because Scotland read it well. What a wonderful year Heath Scotland's having with the Blues. Edge of the square, half back, Whitnell and White. Good contest. Jeff White did well. Great agility from the big man. He's got support. Whelan to Carroll. Short ball to Wheatley.
Carroll's pushed up the field off Favola. Favola's back in his defensive half all by himself.
Sylvia, edge of the square. He's got a loose man. Holland all alone. Easy mark. Needs to go back 35 metres from goal. Steady the ship. Make the most of this opportunity as we approach the 5-minute mark, or 5 minutes remaining of this first term.
Well, just to be talking about tempo football, Heath Scotland came through 50 and missed Whitnell. It was a one-on-one, and you probably like that, but I think you just got to find a target and hold possession in these last few minutes.
1 goal, 2 last week, Ben Holland. And that is a disappointing result.
That was one of my kicks off the knee.
Got completely out of rhythm there, didn't he?
Had a couple of those.
His way in.
Had a couple of those. Just wasn't poised at all. Just had no, looked like he had no routine that he normally does every time. That's something you just got to work on during the week.
Lappin's kick's dangerous. White fisted it clear. Fortunately for the Blues, Carazzo was on the end of it. Now to Betts. Betts to the wing. Wade on the lead. Good mark. Hurt himself as he landed. Just stretched back the wrong way. Got up a little bit proppy. It was a good take, though. Now to Houlihan, who just glided past. He's got it 70 metres from goal. Favola stands at the top of the goal square. He's got some room to lead into this pocket if he so desires. Fisher now goes to that pocket. Favola stands underneath it. Big pack, big fly. Over the top came Bryan. Eddie Betts front and centre. He can't get it past Carroll either. Green. McLean. Now Whelan. Bruce to Bate, and the D's are away momentarily.
McGrath closed late. Uze, they're under the pump, the D's. The Blues are forced to turnover. Houlihan. Brian's loose on his own. It won't get the carry. Doesn't matter because floating in, third man up. Brad Fisher. Terrific mark.
Great pressure from the Carlton midfield. They had numbers there, Melbourne, but they just kept at him from behind the lines. And Houlihan on the end of it, some great work, defensive work. And Fisher, geez, a talented player. He also, one thing about him, he's a very courageous player. It doesn't matter what's around him, he'll go for every mark he possibly can.
And deceptively big at 192 centimetres as well.
Lining up for his first goal this afternoon. More importantly, the Blues fourth.
And that is a good start for Carlton. They've been better as far as their effective disposals are concerned. Their midfield's got on top. Now Stevens has gone back into the midfield after being stuck down for the first 10 minutes at full back. But there's plenty of options up forward. The intensity and the pressure around the ball is what they need. They are capable of kicking a winning score if they get the ball into Favola, Waite and Fisher and give them an opportunity to take them out.
Which is a good argument against slowing the tempo of the game down, because their possession story may not be good enough to retain possession like that. By getting up into Melbourne's face and harassing them, they're winning the game by taking them on head-to-head.
No, that's all right, but when you're kicking out from full back and say Melbourne's kicked 3 points in a row, you just got to keep possession so you don't turn over there and it could cost you a goal.
The Blues are pretty keen on clearing that defensive zone as soon as possible, given some of their turnovers in recent times. McLean couldn't get effective disposal away. Scotland tried the fend off, but won't get away from McLean, and Sylvia will have another bounce.
So the longer this game goes, when you've had a win against a good opposition earlier in the year and you believe and you've started like this, that belief just gets stronger and stronger.
They're playing with confidence, the Blues. For a team that hasn't won in 11 weeks, they're going for their marks. They're not heading towards the boundary line. We saw that with Walker and Robertson earlier. He elected to mark it instead of punch it. McDonald over the top looking for McLean. Just couldn't get the run of the football. Super work from James McDonald. Gave it to McLean, who sizzles one to the pocket. Robertson can't hold on. That's out of bounds. It'll come back.
Gee, I wish it wasn't out of bounds, though.
It'll come back.
I can assure you that was amazing what Robbo did. He dived for the ball and he's spilt the ball, but halfway through his roll, he's just slapped that on the boot and sent the ball. But it was definitely out of bounds.
Brad Green's coming to argue, but the boundary umpire called it.
No, it was prior to that, yeah. It was prior.
Yeah, it was when Robbo's dropped the mark. As we see here, Robbo's dived for the mark, and he always works very hard. Now he's dropped the ball and it's out of bounds, but have a look at his
great effort, wasn't it?
his thought process just to slap it on the boot.
So throw it in the pocket. Massive players around this one. Cooter at the front. James McDonald can't get through traffic. Free kick. Holding decision going Carlton's way.
Yeah, just against Jeff White. Just block Koutafidis out.
Stevens goes to Whitnell. 2.5 minutes on the clock. The Blues need to maintain this positive momentum. Bentic around the wing. Godfrey tries to shut him down. Bentic to half forward. Wiggins couldn't hang on. Ball spills free at the back. Ward wrapped up by Wiggins and Lappin. Play on the call. Wheatley. Now to Bruce. The D's look to counter-attack, but again the pressure comes out of bounds on the full.
Tell you what, you might have to look at Cameron Bruce pushing in the midfield, or even as a forward. We know he can kick a goal, because they are struggling at the moment, Melbourne, in their forward line with those talented players missing out of the team today. Bruce
playing deep in defence, just 3 possessions, averaging 23 a game this season. McGrath, pressure from behind. Ball spills to Sylvia, could be costly. Neitz has got it, inside the centre square. Will launch it long, Robertson snuck away. Just needs to think his way through it, Robbo. Twists back. Green, Houlihan. Houlihan did well. Robertson not enough purchase on the football on the turn. And through for a minor score. Was there a hand over the shoulder? Melbourne fans will say yes.
Inspired opening turn by the Blues.
Dangerous kick.
Sloppy turnover. Fisher's there to gather. Feign the handball. Has time to pick himself up. Goes towards Koutafidis. White. Good spoil. Koutafidis got support, but the boundary line wins that race, and we'll have a throw in. Just under a minute and a half remaining.
The surface isn't conducive to good football, is it? The amount of players we're seeing falling over.
No, you're not confident to turn quickly onto your more dominant side. That's one of the hardest issues for players.
White. Koutafidis involved in that rug contest.
Is that a good
some
start,
heavy traffic. Demons through McLean. High ball. McDonald had to wait. Should have been paid the free kick. Play on's the call. Bate gave protection to White. Put that down to pressure. But there's a free kick going to Jeff White, taken too high.
They're putting a lot of pressure. Maybe it was a good sign for Carlton that Nick Stevens was prepared for 10 minutes to go to fullback. They just want to go one-on-one and put a lot of pressure on their demon opponents, which they know they can beat from round one.
White gets it back from Nathan Brown.
Now, this is what Melbourne does. Now, this means they are not confident with the tempo of the game. And in modern football, there's not many ways you can control the tempo of the game. Now, they will just slow down the game and chip it backwards, probably on this instance, but they just want to regain the control of the tempo is being played out.
That's a win for Carlton then, isn't it?
Without doubt.
Wheatley, high ball, one out, Neats, one arm, couldn't take the mark. Well picked up.
Yeah. Brett Thornton, yeah, if you hold the hand, there's no doubt. And whether they hold you hard enough, I don't know. Some of the full forwards, they work it very well. Let's have a look. Yeah, one arm held, had to be a free kick against Brett Thornton. And this is what they didn't want at this stage, Carlton. It's a pretty hard kick for David Neats, but one of the best full forwards in the competition.
We've got the two best full forwards at shots on goal from outside 50 today, Favola and Neats.
He'll kick after the siren, David Neats. An important kick. High ball. It's a long ball, across the face of goal. And the first term goes to the Blues, 4-1-25. They lead the Demons 1 goal, 6-12. No score.
Umpire said that it came off a Melbourne player trying to fist it through for the score, so it will not count. We saw that decision come into play a couple of weeks ago in the Carlton-Essendon draw after the siren. So at quarter time, the Blues 4-1-25, Melbourne 1-5-11. Great start from Carlton. Favola with a couple of goals, singles to Lappin and Fisher. Well, Matthew Bate has Melbourne's only goal. The Blues have come out, played man-on-man football. They've got in the face of Melbourne. They've played with confidence. They've pressured. They have harassed. They've tackled. And they've worked their way out to a 14-point lead at the first change. Carlton 4-1-25. Melbourne 1-5-11. This is Saturday afternoon football on Fox Footy.
Certainly do. The Melbourne have had a mindset this year to play their role. They've been very structured the way they've gone about it. They're just, I mean, this is such an important game. They talk about Carlton need a win, but this is a very important game. They've got to set themselves up in the top four, give themselves a real shake at September action.
Second quarter at the Telstra Dome, the Blues by 14 points. McLean taken down by Bentic holding the ball. It's been a good even performance from the Blues in the opening term. They've had a host of contributors. Bentic inside 50, Koutafidis didn't go in the end. At the back, Brown to tidy up for Melbourne. Gives it to Uze. Chips with the right and finds James McDonald. McDonald chips it over the top. Bate has to stand and wait. Lappin slapped it clear. Ward tidies the crumb. Handball to Bate. Now McDonald again. Will look forward. Went to Rivers, who slipped at the important moment, then got to his feet and took it on the chest. He's got Wheatley working hard down the outer side. Waite tries to corral him. Holds him up momentarily. Wheatley spears inside 50. Holland in good position. Walker split the pack at the back. Koutafidis can tidy it up. Carazzo. Now to Walker. That's where they let themselves down. Stevens was wide open, but he kicked it straight to Bartram. Walker follows up with a good tackle on Neats and redeems himself. Carazzo regathers possession, but sets up French. White flew over the top. The Blues labouring to clear their defensive zone with some poor disposal. Bruce under pressure. He missed the target as well. Fisher to Houlihan. Now Stevens. The Blues still trying to clear the area. Whitnell. Good hard work from Carlton in the end, and persistence wins out. Houlihan receives from Carazzo. Favola in front. Clears the contest. Uze at the back for Melbourne just has to gather. Keep his head and find a target, all of which he does.
Sylvia had to wait. To Bell through the middle of the ground now. Important kick. That's a disappointing result though, because Barnaby French takes an easy mark in front. Thornton. They're shell-shocked, the Demons, at the moment. A lot more hard running coming from the Blues, and here's another fine example. Scotland in front of McDonald. Houlihan goes, Lappin goes. They're everywhere, the Blues, at the moment.
You're right, Swatter. They're just working much harder. Working harder off the ball to find space, to clear space for their teammates.
Wait.
That's a
good contest. Good call.
And when you're working hard, these sort of free kicks go your way.
Melbourne, they've made a change, Melbourne. Cameron Bruce looks like he is pushed into the forward line.
Simpson, McDonald in front, releases. Bell runs himself into some trouble, turns the ball over. Melbourne, Bartram attacked the ball, but Scotland mopped up beautifully. Goes to Lance, terrific off the half volley. Feigns it to Waite, can load up from outside 50. Vacant goal square, but Sylvia gets back and takes a relieving mark.
That's the only thing with Carlton in this first part of the game. Their choices sometimes, they're finding targets on most times, but their choices just to go short to a contest, and that one was just blazing away straight to a Melbourne defender.
Make it hard for themselves at times. Mind you, Melbourne's disposal hasn't been overly flash. That's primarily because of Carlton's pressure. Brown goes to 50. Robertson, customary high chest mark from Robbo. 55 out.
Needs to get up quick, give Nita a one-on-one contest.
He leads off Thornton now. You now double back towards the square. High ball in. Numbers favour the Blues.
Well
Simpson goes across and takes the relieving mark.
I tell you what, you talk about players who are up in the probably Carlton's 3 or 4 best players for the season. Cade Simpson would be one of them.
Averaging 24 possessions the last 5 weeks, Cade Simpson. Coming off 28 last week, a career high. Walker, another starting to blossom. High kick to the wing. No one went at it. McGrath could paddle it to Betts. You could see that what was going through his mind. He worked it well. Houlihan from 50. Just needs to concentrate and find a target. Favola out on the stretch. Will have to turn and do it the hard way. Can go over the top to Fisher. Fisher can run in and go bang. The Blues have got 5. They lead by 20 points. And the alarm bells are ringing in the Melbourne coaches' box.
Well, they certainly would be ringing very loudly. And the Melbourne Demons have just come here. They've been playing that well. They've come here expecting one of their teammates to lead the way. They thought this was going to be a walk in the park, and probably some players have just dropped off running forward of the ball. But the intensity that Carlton have played, they've come to play one-on-one accountable footy. They are out-pressuring the Demons. That is what the Demons have been so good at.
You know what they're doing, Alistair? They're feeding each other. When anybody wants to run hard enough, you give it to him. Sometimes players ignore that, but they are just saying, if you run hard enough, we're going to give it to you. We'll take a risk sometimes and give it back to that man who runs on again. And that unselfishness just came into that stanza of play.
That's the go. You've got to honour the lead to encourage players to run and run again.
Brad Fisher got the goal, but the unselfish play by Brendan Favola was terrific. He's matured as a player. The Demons working it forward ever so slowly, but every time they do go forward, like Ward did then towards Bates, there's a plethora of Carlton players prepared to put the pressure on. Carazzo, he's got a loose player inboard. Bentic, here comes Sylvia, wraps him up but couldn't stick the tackle. And the Blues, plenty of confidence under pressure down defence. Walker towards the outer side of the ground in the pocket. Thornton, Tony Shaw, hands went up, never in out, Shorey.
They are taking risks and it's fantastic to watch.
It is, absolutely. Stevens finding plenty of the ball himself. Corral. They always seem to have a number spare there, the Blues, Lynchy.
And that was a better choice. Instead of blazing away up the wing to where you're outnumbered, just slow it down, chip sideways.
And when you get an option, you finally blaze long down the line. Fisher to Wiggins. Oh, they're linking up beautifully, the Demons, but then they do that every now and again. Koutafidis, one-handed pickup. Haven't seen that for a while. Too much carry on the ball. Wheatley, he's got a number there in support. Ward gives it off to Carroll. The Demons relieved for the moment.
Rivers is the target. Kick floats wide, out of bounds on the full.
Well, I tell you what, Carlton don't mind Nathan Carroll kicking the ball. They don't mind getting the ball. They just are playing away every time he gets possession.
Melbourne are as flat as Mel Gibson's publicist at the moment. The Blues are all over them.
But Jason, the problem here is, to sum it up very basically, Melbourne are prepared to run quite quickly going forward, but going backwards and picking up their men, they, as you said, they're flat and they're playing lazy football at this stage.
Cameron Bruce stands tall for the D's there. Call to play on now to a 2-on-2. French stands tall. Lappin gave him the screen. French took the mark. Stevens inside 50, speared to no one in particular. Simpson might be able to get on the end of it. Oh, great work. Super defensive work from Nathan Brown. Carroll, Godfrey, Uze under pressure, taken to the line by McGrath. Will have a throw in, and that was a goal saver from Nathan Brown.
Was a fantastic. This is what you need when your team is battling a little bit. Just throw your body around and just in the fingertips. Great smother.
The quick restart. Waite spills to Betts, kick smothered. McLean tracks it to the line. Melbourne on the back foot.
And Lappin's block for French.
Yep.
That typifies how Carlton are going about it.
Yep.
Instead of trying to take the big hang over the top, he just put a block on, easy mark.
McLean roved the crumbs, but his kick goes straight to Whitnell. Again, they've got options everywhere, the Blues. Carazzo to Thornton. The defender goes inside 50. Waite on the bounce. Favola with his hands in the air. Waite did well to beat 3. Here's a chance for Brendan. Off a step. High ball towards the square. Fisher. Wiggins comes in from the front. And the D's concede through Daniel Bell. The siege continues. Wheatley has it in the back pocket.
Quick play on. They need a coast-to-coast goal here. They are under the pump, Melbourne.
They'd take a goal anyway it came, you'd think. Bate, terrific. Ground level to Holland. Gets it back through the middle of the ground. They've got no one forward. They've all pushed up the ground. McGrath in pursuit. Put him under pressure. Did well. Created a turnover. Now it's Walker's turn. Tucks the ball under his arm. Goes wide. McGrath has pushed forward. Working both ways to Lappin. Wants a number to support. Got it in Scotland. Had to wait. Ran into him. A clean tackle. Turnover. Bruce to Ruze. They've got loose players, one of which is Nathan Brown, near side of the ground.
Look promising for the Blues. Can Melbourne make them pay on the counter punch? Neeks just waits. He times it. Brown goes to him.
Oh, half volley nearly. Oh, gee, got his fingertips under that.
Neeks was the only option, really. And Brown just had to wait for the option to present itself, and Neeks did. Squares it up. A 3-on-1 in the air. Robertson at the back. Mark will stand. J-Mark came over the top to split the pack.
Was a good individual mark from Robbo then, but just everyone went for it. There wasn't a lot of structure about that, but these are the goals that you have to kick. You've got the opportunity to kick a goal. You're very much struggling. You've lost control of the game with the intensity. Must slot these.
Could be a 2-goal turnaround as the Blues were streaming forward, but just over-possessed it. And Melbourne a chance to make them pay at the other end. Robertson's kick. Body language wasn't too promising.
And just the way the game is going, you knew he wasn't going to kick that. He just didn't look comfortable. The team is really struggling. It's an ugly part of the game, but what Melbourne tend to do and what they need to do now is slow the game down. They do that. They did it against Brisbane Lions a month ago when the game was getting out of control. Shut the game down till the tempo is back to the pace they want.
Bentic to Carazzo, now Blackwell.
Switch here.
Great to see the sides who are considered to be lesser sides on paper deciding to play man-on-man football in 2006. Flooding's dying in footy, and it's fantastic. Whitnell inside 50 to Waite. 12 months ago, Shorey, if you're a team that was perceived to have lesser talent, you'd come here with a flooding mentality. These days, teams that are perceived to have lesser talent are deciding to go out there, take opponents on head-to-head and win it that way.
I don't think that really, if you talk about coaches, Dennis Pagan does not like to do that. He likes to outscore sides, and he was a systems coach. He had to change to the modern style.
Here's Waite. Kicks another. The Blues are on a roll.
Very much on a roll as Russell Robertson comes and spends some time on the pine and is replaced by Green.
Well, the thing that Dennis Pagan would like, great delivery there by Lance Whitnell. Barnaby French working for his teammate to provide the shep, opens up space. Dennis always used to say to the Kangaroos, I'll tell what you're doing when you don't have possession. Then I'll be able to tell if you're on. And they are on this afternoon. 6 goals, 2-38, the Blues. Melbourne, 1-6-12.
Inside 50s, 9-5 this quarter. Important that Waite kick that goal so that the Blues do start to get some return on the scoreboard for their dominance.
You know what's missing with Melbourne? Magic. The Aboriginal magic of Davey and Pickett, where you know they'll just invent a goal out of nowhere, that is missing.
And the Caucasian magic of Travis Johnston.
True. I thought you were going to say that Tony Shaw played with a bit of magic. It's all hard work. McDonald goes forward, high ball. Carazzo, ball ricochets off his boot. We'll have a throw-in, 10 metres from the boundary behind post for Melbourne.
I think we have seen the emergence of a superstar, boys. A star, we've known about it, Andrew Walker. I think he is now starting to take that next step to becoming a very, very good player at this level.
Well, he debuted in 2004. He notched up his 50th game last week. French, working hard. On this occasion, illegally
disposal.
Deemed a throw.
I think he's going to claim he actually handballed it to himself and then punched it.
Whether it was, came out in a tackle or it spilled free and then he just punched the ball, we're going to have to watch the replay to see how the umpire saw it. Now, if you tackle it anyway when you take it, I think that's nearly play on, isn't it? It was knocked and just bobbled free.
Probably was nearly play on. It was fairly ugly, though, wasn't it?
It was ugly. But you don't get free kicks for being ugly. Oh, well, you might have got a couple.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
We've gone to a new low this afternoon, but we'll get back to the football for the moment. Mark Jamar is not an ugly man.
I would have got heaps.
Let's hope this is an attractive finish. A very important goal and kick.
Very, very important goal for Jamar there. A dodgy free kick, probably. It was paid for incorrect disposal against Barnaby French. And he may have even looked...
he wasn't tackled.
He took possession. He wasn't correctly tackled, so it shouldn't be from taking possession out of the ruck contest. It shouldn't be that one.
Umpire pinged him for throwing it, but really, when you look on the replay, he's pretty much handballed it.
Yeah.
It was just an ugly-looking handball, and then he's punched it clear, but I guess the umpire didn't see the initial attempt to handball.
Well, it's against the tide, so now Melbourne, look, I've got to give it to Melbourne. There have been a couple of smothers in defence. They're thinking the right way. They've just got to get some flow in their play.
Margin back to 20 points. They are capable of slamming on goals in a hurry. McDonald's kick towards half forward. It beat Thornton and Neitz. Tidying up at the back was Godfrey. Handball to Jones. Jones inside 50. Whitnell in best position. Couldn't take the mark. Play on the call. Brown's wrapped up. Big tackle laid on him by Kate Simpson. Play on the call. French in over the top of it. Tries to barge his way clear. Sylvia tries to wrap him up. Stevens trying to ferret it out from the congestion. Umpire lets it go a long time. Kate Simpson not happy.
Sure, you talk about the Demons missing the magic. It's now that you need a statement player, and Byron Pickett's that player that can enforce his will on a game and turn the momentum.
Unless he's going to jump out of the grandstand, I won't be seeing it today, Swatter.
No, you're right.
Almost the perfect tackle from Simpson, not rewarded. Look at the mass of players around this one. Jamar, third man up, was effective. Opportunity now for Jones. Off the left boot from just inside 50. 3-on-1 in the square. It's cleared the pack. Nathan Jones gets his first goal in league football.
Once again, a very handy goal. It was ugly congestion, but Jones has just had a nice little snap-on goal. David Neitz doing the strong work on the goal line, but as we see, a clearing tap, which is what you've got to clear the congestion, and from pretty well 50 metres, just a snap to the top of the goal square. Nita took 3 players down with him and has just bounced through. So the last 2 minutes, 2 goals to the Demons, and that'll help them. Just takes a bit of pressure off the scoreboard for them.
Isn't it amazing when you have 3 players, Carlton players, in that goal square? They all had the idea, knock it through, and they belted into each other. Sometimes your over-enthusiasm can cost you, and that's what happened.
It was a difficult split in 10-pin bowling terms. The D's have got their third.
They've kicked the last 2. Jamar and Bryan replacing White and French for the moment. Pack forms, and we'll do it all over again. The margin now 14 points. At some stage you'd think Melbourne will challenge. Bryan with strength, only as far as Bell. Bryan got it again, just tumbles it forward. Bouncing ball. White, good contest with Wheatley. Rivers closes, kept his feet. Oh, the ball spills free to Houlihan towards Favola. 1 grab, 2 grab, tumbles, takes the mark.
What beautiful delivery there, and this is a great answer for Carlton. It's expecting that Favola will go back and slot this one, but you've been under pressure. There's been 2 scrappy goals at the other end. You've just got to find a way to get a shot on goal yourself, and Brendan Favola, very good mark, good delivery, but he was given plenty of space. 1-on-1 in the forward 50, that's all you can ask as a full forward.
That's why Ryan Houlihan is so frustrating a player, because we can see the silky skills. He's had, what, I think 12 possessions at this stage. That's why he can play at this level. Doesn't do it often enough.
It was 12 goals better than any other player coming into this afternoon's game. Brendan Favola.
He's just chipped that one 40 metres, and we know he can kick the ball a long, long way. He's just poked at that one.
2-1 for the afternoon thus far for Brendan Favola.
Critical period between now and half-time for the Blues. 8 minutes remaining. Melbourne have kicked the last 2 goals. And this lead could be whittled away pretty quickly. Carroll. Now to Green at defensive 50. No sign of the Blues falling away in their work rate yet. It's been a meritorious performance from them so far. Can they keep it going? Nathan Jones has it at half-back. D's just getting a bit more meaningful time in possession. Tempo of the game just slowing up a touch. Matthew Whelan. Good work from Wheatley to get by himself.
Well, these are the good signs. Wheatley and Whelan have found ways to find some space. They've worked hard from behind the ball to find space up on the wing.
Carlton's endurance will be tested. They've gone very, very hard in the first quarter and a half. They've led the marathon out of the stadium. They've led it through the first few drink stations. Can they keep it going for 4 quarters? Long ball inside 50. Big pack of players under this one. Bryan bobbled it off his chest. It almost sat up for Bruce. Robertson got boot to ball into the pocket. Here's Whelan again, confronted by Simpson and taken to the line for a throw in.
Probably a low percentage kick to that spot 25 metres out the top of goal. Massive numbers. Just got to find a way, think your way through to find a target inside 50.
Through the hands of Bryan on that occasion. Robertson trying to invent ways to kick the football. Simpson managed to get the hands free, released a handball. Coming through hard was Koutafidis, took his man high. It was a 50-50 ball. James McDonald coming the other way. Just got there first. Did he duck the head?
Well, it has to be a free kick. You duck the head or you dive forward with the momentum. But no way known, the umpire cannot pay a free kick there. Just so, yeah, again, their hand use from some of those congested areas in defence has let down Carlton. That one just bobbled free. But this is the pressure time now. This is when good side stand up, and it looked like Melbourne are winning a fair bit of congested ball around the stoppages.
He's had a super year, but the one thing he doesn't do is kick goals. He's kicked just 1-6 for the season. Big kick here for James McDonald from 40 metres out. It's good. The D's get another. 3 on the trot for Melbourne. The margin back to 15 points as we close in on time on in the second term. The D's working their way back into this one.
It kills you, doesn't it, when a Brendan Favola up the other end. You'd think he kicked 9 out of 10. For some reason, his style wasn't great, Alistair, but he converts there, goes the other end. They kept control of the ball, and no doubt about the free kick.
3 goals in the last 6 minutes to Melbourne. 4-6. They trail Carlton 6-3.
And McDonald's one of those players leading the way. That's 14 disposals. His first goal, as Jason said.
Equal leading high possession winner, Carazzo, for Carlton with 14 apiece himself. And there's a free kick against Jamar, much to his disgust.
Just the umpire just said he got Barnaby French in the face. No, it's not. Yeah, Barnaby French in the face, sorry.
Thumping, long ball. Whelan got in front of Carroll. Lappin, quick hands to Koutafidis, wrong side of the body, had time, steady, high ball, top of the square, Whitlow and Favola are there, loose ball over the top to Brendan, one-handed, would you believe it?
Oh, you're a star.
And he kicks one of those.
He's a star.
Favola has 3 goals, and the Blues get a steadier.
Yeah, very nice work, and I like the idea of Lance Whitnell pushing forward. I mean, he's had a very good season across half-back, but he's just a dangerous option up forward. But when you can under pressure, that's when you go to the top of the goal square. When you've got even numbers, Whitnell, good contest. Favola held his feet and good snap on goal.
Just prior to that, that's where I like to see Santantaro helping. I think they played him in defence and he's still learning the game. He's playing at full forward now. That quick handball and his athleticism at ground level, I think he's going to turn into a pretty good forward, Santantaro helping.
They kicked 34 goals in 20 VFL games last season, including 1 bag of 6. So has spent a fair bit of time forward.
I'll tell you what, just a trend going Carlton's way is they've kicked, 7 goals and 5 of them from marks. Melbourne have got 2 of their goals from free kicks, so they've had to do it the hard way, Melbourne.
Bentig in there trying to win the hard ball. Umpire will bounce.
What that means is they've had not a bit of luck, but they've had to get it other ways. They haven't manufactured marks and got easy goals, Melbourne, and that's a bonus for Carlton.
Bryan versus White. Bryan got the tap and it went straight to Rivers. Free kick in the ruck contest going Melbourne's way.
No one likes these ruck contests, don't they?
It's a lottery. You've got no idea which way it's going to go each time the whistle blows.
Arm over the shoulder in favour of Jeff White on that occasion.
All Melbourne players forward of the ball.
White spears to forward 50. Robertson worked hard.
Quick to Neitz.
He's 60 metres from goal. Neitz doubles back towards the top of the goal square.
Too slow.
There's
now
the skipper.
Look at the numbers.
Now he leads to the pocket. He'll double back again. Robertson, the floater inside 50. Tough to mark. Lappin hacks it out. Koutafidis missed it with the boot. McDonald sets it up for the D's from 55. Launches it high. Neitz goes back. Couldn't quite hang on. At the back is Bell. Bursts through Daniel Bell for his first goal in league football. No. It's his first behind in league football.
I think, no doubt, Carlton now. James McDonald's playing on Kouta-Fides. He is getting under the guard. He's had 15 possessions. Try and put a stopper on James McDonald. He keeps doing this week in, week out and having an impact on games.
What a year he's having for Melbourne. He leads their possessions, he leads their tackles, and he leads their clearances. Such an important player. Uze at the back. Lappin takes him high.
That's not a bad free kick there. It allows Carlton players now to get behind the ball. There shouldn't be many free Melbourne players forward.
He's got Nathan Brown inside the centre square. O'Halpin closes late. Carroll runs by. That gets ignored. He might get it eventually. Now he does. Chips it up with a 9-9. Sets Robinson a task. Oh, he's up to it, Robbo.
Great body work.
Just got rid of Andrew Walker. Well called, Shorey. Put that down to experience, and he'll go back and line up for a very important 5th Melbourne goal.
Well, Alistair, you would have done that a million times. You know you've got the body work on your opposition. You just got to hold your space and just keep them off the line of the ball. And that's, look at that. That is brilliant body work.
That's the one. Protect the area where the ball's going to drop.
He's already got a behind in this second term. Make that 2. The kicking boots are not on for Russell Robinson at this stage.
The D's have had 2 more scoring shots, but they trail by 13 points. Simpson to Bryan. He holds it up in defensive 50. The 3rd generation of Wolves after Val Perovic and Ange Christou. McDonald spills out to Brad Green. Thornton underneath
now
it.
Stevens can run.
Yeah, switch
Get it
now.
and go. He'll go to Scotland, and then Stevens will be the next one down the line. Heads in that direction now. Jones closing. Stevens gains possession, 65 from home. Off the left, inside 50 to Favola. Got it! Speaking of body work.
That was a great mark, and sure he's called a free kick, but that was...
free kick, it doesn't matter.
He drew the free kick initially, probably, from Nathan Carroll, because he pushed his body back hard into his opponent. He's pushed back hard here.
Very
his
much
hold
like
possession.
Robinson, wasn't it?
Yeah, hold possession, knew where the ball was going to drop, just wanted to drop on his lap, and it was great use of the body. I was just watching his previous set shot on goal. He's got the journey without any doubt whatsoever, just needs to kick through it.
Crucial in the shadows of half-time to re-establish a very handy lead for the Blues. Favola for goal number 4. Was always going to hit the post. We were right behind that. It did not deviate 1 iota.
And umpires just called Matthew Whelan back. Now, why has he called him back?
Was there another ball in play, or
Don't
did
think
the
so.
umpire not signal all clear? I don't know.
Take 2. Brad Green gets it.
It
That's
should help
being
Carlton.
called back.
Should help Carlton now by manning up.
You might be right, Shaw. You still need to get the all clear before you can bring it back into
Yeah.
play. Even though they don't have
Okay.
to wave the flags, the all clear has to be given.
Brown can go back to Green across the face of the goal. Favola cuts that off. McDonald.
So they have to actually, Jason, acknowledge the
Field umpire has to
centre
come
umpire
in and say all clear.
and then signal the point.
No, the goal umpire doesn't have to signal it, but the field umpire has to give it the all clear and put the hand up.
Yep.
Have it acknowledged by the goal umpire, and then you can bring it back.
Good that you cleared that up too.
Never had to worry about that, Lynchy, did you?
Hey, I played plenty times down there at full back.
Nathan Brown, right half back, called to play on. Off a step, high ball. Big pack, White got his hands on it, Sylvia. Good tackle, Waite over the top. Pack forms, it's Willing down there. Whitnell, terrific, slick handball to McGrath. Goes back inboards, sets up Simpson. The D's with the numbers. Jones to Sylvia, the runner. Goes towards the middle of the ground now. Bouncing ball in front of Neitz. He's got a task. He's outnumbered 3-1. Did well, stood in the tackle. Needs to give it off. Got it to Bate, but illegally.
Through the ball, the umpire. He called a drop in the ball, but the ball bobbled up. Very much like French, and he's hit it with one hand.
Thornton has it.
Rebounds on. Gee, Carlton have
They
got
got
numbers
numbers
forward. They've
everywhere.
got plenty of numbers.
Benter can go over the top to Whitnell.
Kate
Whitnell
Simpson's
can
on.
go to Simpson. Simpson can get it and go to 50. He could go the journey, Kate Simpson, if he can wind it up. Decides to go short and finds
right.
McGrath.
And Neil Danaher would be very disappointed there. Sure, it was a turnover by a free kick in the forward zone for Melbourne, but just probably not accountable enough to chase hard. And it mightn't be your man, but you've got to find the bloke that's closest to you and man him up.
McGrath's kicked 6 behinds without a goal this season. Can he break the run right on half-time? Be a huge goal for the Blues, this one, for their confidence. Off a couple of steps from 45. Isn't going to get there. At the front, Eddie Betts flashed across. Whelan waltzes over the line. Favola takes him down late. And then follows it up as well. The siren will sound for half-time. Whelan and Favola in the goal square. A bit of push and shove.
Now, don't do anything silly here.
Now, if they give a free kick away, they can pay the free kick after half-time.
Now, Matty Whelan just wants to walk away from this because he can't kick a goal from that position.
Corey McGrath's in there.
Good
saying to Brendan Favola, just get out of there. Let's just get back to the rooms. We'll take our 15-point lead. And it's still on here. This one refusing to die.
Oh, Brendan.
It's just refusing to die at the moment. The sparks are still there between Whelan and Favola. Favola wants a bit more. Whelan's not denying him the opportunity.
Jason, you've got to remember, if they're
coming back again.
If they give a free kick away here, they will start with the ball after half-time. The umpire can start the free after half-time and the free kick goes to the opposition. So don't do it. You're on top here.
What a game we've got. Saturday afternoon football. The Blues by 15 points at the major break. Whelan disappointed with the treatment. This is the follow-up. Favola took him down once the ball had been trotted through for a point. Brendan Favola needlessly took Whelan down and tackled him over the line.
Well, Whelan's asking for a 50-metre penalty because why was Favola in the square at the time when you can play on straight away?
So Matthew Whelan and Brendan Favola add a little bit of spice for our second half. It's a Saturday afternoon special looming on Fox Footy. Carlton 7-5-47. Melbourne 4-8-32. The Blues by 15 points at the major break.
You got the shakes from your head to your feet.
Does a job most weeks, Godfrey. And Whitnell, obviously a very important player for the Blues.
Third term at the Telstra Dome. Carlton by 15 points. Stevens gets first hands on the football for the Blues. Gives it off to Bentic, and now Scotland. Lappin on centre wing. He's got a couple of metres on Jones. It's particularly slippery across that logo. We've seen players go down a number of times today. Scotland gets it back. Spears towards Stevens at half forward. Bartram gets across and takes it to the line.
And Lance Whitnell, after that bounce, pushed very hard forward, and Sylvia went with him. And he's got the runner, and he's hooked him back to the half-back line. So I think Lance thought, I might run forward here.
Well, they're not worried about him playing on Godfrey as a half-back. That's what's happened.
Houlihan. Quick one to Carazzo. Boot to ball quickly, high inside 50. Rivers will arrive late. He belts it back over the line.
And good spoil. He just found space between him and the ball, ran hard and helped his teammate out, and just must punch the ball forward. So very good spoil.
Throw in inside 50 for the Blues.
As you touched on, this is where Melbourne are dangerous.
French got hands on the ball. It was open space, but no Carlton Rovers to collect. James McDonald was tough in the tackle. Just rode the Simpson bump. Bartram taken high by Simpson. And the D's will relieve. Clint Bartram. What a super debut season he's having. Game number 18 this afternoon. Taken at pick 60 in last year's draft. Melbourne's third pick overall from Ocean Grove. Made his debut against the Blues here in round 1 and has not looked back. Bartram spears outside defensive 50 to Bate. Free kick against Lappin.
That's the interpretation. Would have been a lot of full forwards, I reckon, kicking a lot more goals if they're playing under these rules.
Well, without
that
a
one
doubt.
was across the head.
Well, through the late 80s, you could give him a good crack across the skull and get away with it, but not now.
It was just seen as part of the game, wasn't it, Lynch? It was just being polite, really. Bruce to Carroll. Here's Bate to Bartram, who was flat-footed. Stevens puts some pressure on. Melbourne under enormous pressure here. We taken down. Whelan ends up with the football, and it'll work out for them here. They've got men forward of it. Bruce to Bate. Betts will try to run him down. Bate releases inside 50. Walker, a great finger tipper in defensive 50. He gives it off to Scotland, and the Blues a chance to repel.
Oh.
And again, players losing their feet. Walker.
Go long.
Heard the call. Well spotted, Alistair. To Lappin. Fuller run again in this early part of the third term, the Blues. Great spoil, Carroll. White had to wait. French got in the back, but Sylvia benefits from a loose ball. Cuts back inboard. To no one in particular apart from a man with number 8 and a Carlton jumper on his back, Lance Whitnell, edge of the square. Feeds off a handball to Thornton. They continue to press the Blues. Edge of the square, Thornton heads down the line. Wade on a long lead and gets there. Terrific kick. Stevens dummies up forward, now goes back. Fisher's got a task because Rivers back there, edge of the square, doesn't worry about the mark. And that's a rush behind.
Well, sometimes when you're under pressure, you just think there's more pressure than what there is. Jared Rivers here, and he should have marked, or he could have marked that, but gee, just signs at the moment that Melbourne, they're not coping with this pressure.
Yep, that perceived pressure, and that comes from chase and intensity from the opposition, and probably lack of talk in that situation there.
The Melbourne team, they're huddling here.
And called to play on, and just steps back over the line.
We've got to look at this rule, don't we? What happens if that was going to be 3 points for stepping back over the line? And the umpire, what's happened is he stepped over the line without kicking the ball onto his boot to play on the do it.
Is that a change of interpretation?
No, I don't think it is.
Wiggins over the top. Sylvia, the Demons will get away with it. So does that mean the behind counts or not?
No, it doesn't.
So how does that work for the Blues? Inside 50, French. Jones, if it's a one-point game, Carlton fans will be saying, what about the point? French has run down. Bate.
They are under
McDonald under enormous pressure. Carroll. The Blues need to transport this pressure and transfer it on goals on the scoreboard. That's the problem. They can chase and harass all they like, but they need to kick goals. Neitz goes inside 50. Over the top went Bartram. Lance at the back to tidy up and give it off to Lappin. Lappin can swing it out wide to Stevens. It just sat up for Bartram. Good follow-up running from Clint Bartram. Saved the day for the D's and we'll have a bounce on the wing.
Now let's go back to that point. What I think the umpire said, that Whelan didn't kick the ball onto his boot to play on. So when he walked the ball through, it wasn't play on. So what you had to do is bounce the ball, like going to play on out of the square.
So he stepped over the line.
He stepped over the line so the point doesn't score and it's a ball up.
Bate got the ball from the bounce. Robertson, Neitz does the roving. Can the skipper turn the tide? No, he can't. Doesn't make the distance, and Corey McGrath relieves. Last line of defence.
Beautiful bit of forward crumbing from Big Nita there, but Demons just need the conversion.
Well, that's the issue. Neitz crumbing. They need more of that from someone else.
Oh, exactly. Nita should be in their structure deep in the forward line and putting the ball to him and have the small players hit the front of David Neitz.
French lopes out of defensive 50. Lovely kick. Straight up the middle to Wiggins. Gives it off to the runner in Stevens. Wrong side of the body. Eddie Betts. He's outnumbered. Smallest man on the ground. What can he do? Oh, great effort.
Well,
he steals the ball. Got it to a teammate. Koutafidis. Inspired football, the Blues. Loose ball. D's with the numbers. Whelan can't break the Fisher tackle. Drop the ball. And they get it.
And that can go back to Eddie Betts, because I think about 3 or 4 times today they've taken the wrong option and kicked to Eddie Betts when he's a one-on-one. In that situation, he was a 2-on-1, but just the pressure to get the ball back and get it forward, and that is a very, very good tackle. And that's what you want from your forwards, just put pressure on when you haven't got the ball.
Brendan Favola has given Matthew Whelan an absolute gobful. And still going. Fisher to finish off. And does.
And it's been a really good start from Carlton. You just wondered how at half-time whether they were going to come out and be able to keep the intensity up and whether Melbourne were going to respond. It is not good news for the Melbourne footy side that Carlton have come back out with this passion to really win. They believe they can win. They really want to win. And you would have thought the Demons, they're the ones that got to be taking good form over the next few weeks with them.
A massive first goal for the Blues. Margin back out to 22 points. 7 minutes gone, third term. Saturday afternoon football. Great to have your company right around the country. Live and exclusive on Fox Footy. Ball back in the middle. White versus French. The Demons being challenged. The Blues looking to hand the wooden spoon back to Essendon. Nathan Jones inside 50. Bruce versus Houlihan. Scotland. We talk about Crummers front and centre for David Neitz, but what Crummers? The D's don't have any true natural Crummers in their forward structure at the moment.
Gee, that was great poise from Hoot Scotland.
Bentick Goes to Stevens.
They're going to swap this match up. Bartram on Stevens. I think you've got to go with Godfrey for a while.
Bentic kept running. It's been indicative of Carlton's endeavour this afternoon. They have busted a gut working for each other.
Godfrey would probably be the matchup. Do you go Cameron Bruce? We haven't probably seen enough of him.
Yeah,
he can do jobs.
Yeah, Stevens might run a bit too hard for Cam. I know Cam Bruce runs hard.
Betts got it off the hands of Whelan. Off a step. Misses the lot.
That's
Throw
a
in.
good outcome. That's a good outcome from Carlton. Keep the pressure on them here now. Hem it in.
That's right, Shorey. If the ball goes through for a point, it's an easy clearance for the Melbourne side. Now, they get numbers around the ball, and put a lot of pressure on and hold the ball in the forward 50.
The Brendan and Matthew show continues. French at the front. Favola in the pocket. Carroll taken high, play on, throw in.
Matty Whelan be just hoping they can get out of jail here today, and he kicks the winning goal, and he might just wander back past Brendan on the way off.
Nathan Carroll just saying, what about the free kick? Nothing doing. Favola, third man up. Off the hands of Koutafidis. Blackwell tickles up the football. Lappin. And Rivers takes it out again.
Once again, not a bad result for Carlton. They've still got the time in the forward 50, and that puts pressure on the defensive. As a defender, you're just very nervous. You want to find your man. You've got to use him as a starting point, but you just want to get the ball in your hands.
Carlton by 22 points. Inside forward 50. Betts off a step. High ball. Oh, terrific.
Grab.
No other way to say it. Fantastic mark.
Carazzo. He's pushed forward on Brad Green. And how many marks have we seen where players, very intelligent players, have kept their opponent? And again, have a look at this. Hold him off the line, know where the ball's going to fall. And that is a sensational mark. You have to finish off now because the pressure has been so great for Carlton.
To extend the margin to a game high 28 points. Coming up for possession number 17. No.
Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. All the effort. And you know that he doesn't mean to miss those goals, but at this level, you have to make the opposition pay. Let's see if Melbourne can go coast to coast.
It does hurt because everyone else in your team, they drop their head.
Yes.
You've worked hard to find that. It was a fantastic mark, but you've just got to convert those opportunities if you want to win.
Shanked a few this season, Andrew Carazzo.
Damn, that's not what's working. Melbourne's kick-ins.
Stevens, flat-footed, bait cut across. Important intercept. The D's being challenged. More than that, they're being beaten. They trail by 23 points, halfway through the third term. Good sides find ways to win. Can the Demons do it this afternoon? McDonald to Rivers. Goes towards Neitz. Awkward one for the skipper, 65 out. He goes to ground. Thornton wraps him up. Neitz forced to concede possession as the Carlton cavalry arrived in the form of Lappin. Whitnell through Stevens. Awkward one for Bruce. He crashed through hard on Simpson. Green to Jones. Simpson like a sheepdog trying to round them up. Bruce taken down by Houlihan. Bate gone backwards. Carlton going hard again. Green, now McDonald. Big play this one. Inside 50. Sylvia stands and waits. French arrives. Lappin, Whitnell, and the Blues stand tall at half-back.
Carazzo, can he redeem himself? Handball to Betts. Put him under pressure. Bartram. Good second attempt, good tackling, Robbo to Whelan. Here's your chance for redemption.
There he is.
Good to Brendan, Matthew, and let him know all about it.
He may run straight back down. That is good, because that's what Melbourne have been very good at. They put a lot of pressure on the ball carrier for Carlton, who were just using the ball short, and it was play on all the time. But Matty Whelan, along with a few of his teammates, just put pressure on, caused the turnover, and slotted it through. And I know from playing full back a few times, you love this jog back as Matty Whelan runs back to his defensive spot. And you just want to find your opponent and just let him know.
You want to find Nathan Carroll's opponent too, Brendan Favola.
Andrew Carazzo wants to find a hole because the last couple of minutes he missed that goal, the turnover at halfback. I love the way that he plays the game, but gee, it's been a costly couple of minutes for Andrew Carazzo.
Could have been 28 points. Now it's just 17. Jared Waite getting some medical attention, but he's waved the trainers away. Jamar wrapped up by French and thumped down into the turf.
Good
Green
tackle.
wrapped up by Carazzo, just carried him forward in the tackle. Free kick to Melbourne.
He won't give up on having a go, Andrew Carazzo. It's just not working at the moment. He's got to keep working hard for his team.
Green's kick hung in the air a long time. Betts would love to get clear on McLean here, but Brock will take him to the line. Throw it in.
Well done, Eddie Betts. Nearly the smallest bloke. I would think the smallest bloke on the ground, but his defensive work, I don't know if he's cramped up or not. Not running well back to the position.
Pulled up a bit sore, I think. A little bit awkward going into the fence area. Scotland and Green. This is tough at the moment. This is a game and a half we've got here right now.
Every what? Isn't it great, the excitement about seeing the underdog just come to play, and now they've been tested, Melbourne. Who's going to stand up for him?
Eddie Betts gets shoved over the boundary line. I've got a problem with the artificial turf being so close to the playing surface.
Ward bursts away from the congestion from 50 for a big goal. Long and misses.
And in what respect is that, Swatter?
Well,
No give.
there's no give, but it's an artificial surface. If Eddie Betts, and there's the vision, if he was playing finals football, and we've seen, I can't remember the play, but last year, he's coming off now, take a heap of skin off his leg, it gets infected, he misses football. It's unnecessary. Too close to the playing surface.
Simpson
It was Steve Johnson from Geelong 2 years ago.
goes to himself and then goes to McGrath, who stands tall. Great contested mark. Down the line, Blackwell's broken for him. McLean's coming the other way. Here's a chance for the D's to counter-attack again. Melbourne really gritting their teeth and steeling themselves at the moment. They know they've got to claw their way back. Carlton by 16 points. 14 minutes gone, third term. Green to Jamar in the centre. Thinks about the give over the top to Wheatley. Decides to hang on to it. A massive play is inside Melbourne's forward 50. Goes to Green. Green spots up Bate, and he's got it 65 metres from goal.
Now this is where they've got to be better. Find a target inside 50.
Robertson leads up the middle. McGrath didn't quite get across. Robertson couldn't hang on.
Take him on.
Walker comes away. Waite has got a paddock. Can turn and go. Running hard to run him down is Bartram. Waite laconic. Wasted the opportunity. Russell arrived late to keep it alive. It's still there for the Blues. Rivers went back. Got it to Jones, and the door shuts on Carlton's fingers.
Oh, the Demons, they've started to ramp it up a bit. She's gone up a couple of notches. McDonald squares the ball up. He's got Bruce. Feigns the handball. Can this man with some special skills start to ramp it up for the D's as well? Goes towards Uze to fly. Doesn't matter. Well read. Beautifully judged mark on that occasion to Brett Thornton.
Jared Waite, you just got to kick the ball to Brendan Favola one-on-one. Plenty of time. Just lost the plot there for a minute.
Bryans kick to Koutafidis. He gives it to Simpson. What a player Kade Simpson's turning out to be for the Blues. Godfrey did well.
Short turnover.
He beat Scotland cold. Ward goes to Holland at 55.
Now a bit of patience here. Can't butcher it again.
Good running from Bell. Whitnell gets across. Bell can keep going for his first goal in footy. It's the second time I've said it. It's the second time he's missed it.
There's plenty of good signs, though, for Melbourne. They've certainly got the hands on the ball and controlling the tempo a bit more. But where they've fallen down in the first half and in early parts of this third quarter is just finding an effective target inside 50. Maybe they've got to slow it down. Take your time.
Inside 50's 9-6 this term in favour of the D's as Lappin takes it at half-back.
Left half-back. Blackwell has worked hard. Got himself into some space to receive the ball. Bell closes that space.
Neats off. Sylvia on.
Blackwell has got a loose player. Just happens to be the captain. Koutafidis can go. Short ball. Fisher got in front of Bruce.
She's strong, this player. He's a very, very hard worker and gets in the space.
Lappin.
Robertson will close. They'll fly. Good spoil, Carroll. Too much carry on the ball for Whelan. Holland overran it. Whelan eventually got it. Goes to Jones. Advantage.
Free kick back to Whelan against Favola.
The D's are certainly working a lot harder. McLean stands in the middle of the ground. That hasn't been spotted. He continues to push forward now. Bruce needs to lift his eyes. Finally gets him. Fisher pushing back. McLean. Good work, Fisher. Got a hand on the ball. Bouncing ball favours Simpson. He's got support. Walker gets it back. Simpson looks up, steadies the ship and goes to Wiggins. Walker wants it. That's a good sign. Gets a shepherd from Stevens. Great play, the Blues. Towards Scotland. One hand. Couldn't take the mark. Gathers the loose ball. Breaks the tackle. McGrath. Deft little tap. That's a shame. Pack forms.
Trouble
Russell
here.
over the top.
See you later.
And that should.
Oh, the Carlton supporters are going ballistic here.
Should have been, but won't be.
Did he
It'll be a
drag it
bounce.
in? And it just came out just in time, I would think.
Well, that's so often the situation we see here. He's pulled the ball in.
How long? Oh, no. Well, he got it held. It was held to him, but he did drag it in first up.
Massive players at centre-half forward for the Blues. Houlihan, kick smothered. Ricochet to Robertson. He couldn't get effective disposal. Bentic grits the teeth and tries to get through. Going nowhere.
Oh, I tell you what, the Carlton supporters would have ripped the grandstand roof off if they paid that free kick.
I'll just cut in quickly, boys.
Go both these
Just a quick injury update on Eddie Betts. He came off. They've rubbed his right hamstring and stretched it vigorously too, so he's trying to get back on the ground. I wouldn't suggest it's teared if they're rubbing it, but just a bit sore.
Thanks, Aussie. Jones to Robertson. Godfrey. He's got it in the middle. Plays on quickly. He's got Sylvia at full forward as the target. Heads in that direction. Ben Holland will push back as well. Standing tall as the Melbourne players collided was Brett Thornton. Puts it out in front of Simpson. He's a running machine. He's got Scotland wide alone on centre wing. Can go down the line to Houlihan. Blues creating space. Now they need the finish. The big ball's the one that goes inside 50. Can he spot a target?
Walker
will appear at the back. Couldn't hang on. Russell wrapped up by Rivers. Play on the call. Melbourne player down.
Andrew Walker.
Russell
Robinson down.
He was the player that was...
Was that the one, the knee in the head?
Yeah, he was...
Oh, that hurts.
He's been smashed.
You don't want your good players, good forwards like that doing the... Oh, great courage, Russell Robinson.
That's a big hit.
You cannot doubt the courage of these modern-day players.
Great game of footy, Saturday afternoon on Fox. Thoroughly enjoying it, and I hope you are too, wherever you might be watching. Jones wrapped up by Bentic.
I'll tell you what, umpire, I don't know whether he should have bounced the ball with Russell Robinson on the ground with 3. I know they have to call the stretcher, but he was only 5 metres away from that bounce.
They're just going to bring Russell Robinson off the ground now, have a little bit of a spell.
Has he? Well, he's holding that arm down.
Doesn't look good. The AC of the shoulder. We'll hear from Aussie shortly when they get off and assess Robertson. Jones, good run from McDonald. In a trouble bait. The Blues hunting in numbers like a pack of dogs at the moment, Carlton.
Now, you think that, surely they were going off before. The Carlton supporters are out of their seats now. So often you see these kicks. As soon as you try to bring the ball back in, and that's twice in a row that he's done that, and you see it played more times than not.
Look at the numbers around this one. McLean, again Jones involved. Ward on the half volley. Gives it off to Bate. Will kick towards half forward. Whitnell tries to get back, won't quite get there. Green did well, got on the end of it. He's got men inside. He's got Godfrey by himself. Called to play on. Confronted by Carazzo. Forced to just hoik it inside 50. Sylvia flies. 3 on 1 at the back. 2 down for Melbourne. 3 on 1 in the air. And David Neitz. Unconvincing drop kick, but a goal nonetheless. The D's get one back.
They found a way to kick a goal there, but once again going to the forward 50, they were just all at sea. Colin Sylvia was deep initially by himself or with a one-on-one contest. They're the times you go quick, but a bit of a Hail Mary to Sylvia, who was up with 3 opponents, and Neitz was very handy.
Neitz took a 9-iron divot out there.
He might have to take the sand bucket out and just replace that divot. There's a fair chunk of Telstra turf being taken up there.
Oh, this game has had everything. This has been a great contest.
But they're well and truly back in this. Yeah. Things have turned Melbourne, and you think they've got control of the game more so now. And they've only one aspect of the game they've got to fix up, and they'll be well and truly ahead.
Demons 6-10-46. They trail by 9 points. Carlton 8-7-55. The Demons have kicked the last 2 after the Blues opened up the scoring in the 3rd term. Godfrey thumps it inside forward 50. The bounce in front of Green. And he seeks the safety of the boundary line. We'll have a throw-in 55 metres from the Melbourne goal.
And sure, with a smaller forward line, Melbourne, haven't they? Nita has come back on the ground and gone the full forward, out of the square where he should play, but they're going with a smaller forward line.
We just saw Russell Robinson on camera there. He had his right shoulder assessed. Doesn't seem to be too bad, but let me tell you, when he came off the ground, he did not know where he was. He got his clock cleaned well and truly.
Eddie Betts back on for Carlton, and that'll get the Blues faithful off their seat. They don't like that. They didn't get 2 decisions their way, the other end of the ground, and Brock McLean gets it against Bentic. Pressure by Bentic. McLean manages to get it away. High ball towards the square. Big pack forwards.
Push out. Free kick to Carlton.
Neitz took the mark, but against Corey McGrath, he wins himself a free kick, so I guess it balances itself out, guys.
See, Adamuse's one player who really needs to lift for Melbourne.
He's been on McGrath for most of the day, and as we saw, McGrath certainly got off to a flying start with plenty of touches early.
It's 9 touches for Uze, averaging 21 a game this season. So well down on that number. Thornton receives from Russell. Bereft of options. Goes to Wiggins, back to Thornton. They've run themselves into all sorts of trouble. Wheatley to Brown. Green's handball was ambitious at best. Was behind Wheatley. Wiggins went back and fetched it. Scotland's kick was awkward for Whitnell. He's under pressure. Wheatley's gone back again. Russian roulette football at the moment.
No,
Leach runs underneath it.
Please.
And Walker hangs on.
Well, Carlton are finding ways to turn over the ball now. Just settle down. Again, tempo football here, boys. Great mark under pressure. That's what I mean. Those short kicks, if you're going to make a mistake, maybe get a bit more length on the kick. But they're just got to settle down now.
Great hands from Lappin. And a tidy kick to Houlihan.
Exactly right, sure. You can't afford to go short to a contest. If you've got to go to a contest, make it 50 metres away and preferably on the boundary line.
2 goals to 1 in favour of the D's this quarter, as Wiggins marks just inside the interchange gates, gets up a little sore.
He's tightened up in the left hamstring a little bit as well, you'd think.
Now back to Scotland. 3.5 on the clock. Blues just want to be tidy without going back into their shells. Bentic can go short to Lappin. Rivola stands at the top of the goal square. The lead from Fisher now ignored. Lappin confronted with a massive traffic in front of him. Spots Walker just inside the line.
Got a couple of players inside 50 here. Oh, Carlton didn't pick Wiggins. He was there by himself, and a poor kick off one step by Andrew Walker.
Hate to see the Blues go too far back into their shell with hanging onto the football. The way they've beaten Melbourne today is by running at them and taking them on.
The only thing with that, Jason, is a couple of Carlton players have had a look, and they look like they're cramping up. To run or play that style of play will take it out of you, but I agree. Keep trying to run the lines.
2.5 minutes until three-quarter time. Melbourne trying to get another one back. McDonald to a big pack, and Cooter read it best at the back.
And well done, Lance Whitnell off the ball.
Walker gets up very sore and sorry to his haunches. Scotland off half-back can give it to Thornton, and the Blues can build again.
Outside of defensive 50 now, heads up in the direction of Stevens. Bartram, good spoil. Jones, quick handball, goes back to Whelan as Andrew Walker makes his way to the interchange bench. Sylvia, outer side of the ground, heads towards Bruce and Fisher. Got a knee up there, Cam Bruce. Great gather, goes to Neitz. He's got some time, David Neitz. Don't drop kick it, just kick it, and he does. The skipper's got 2, and here come the D's.
And the Blues do appear to be struggling with their leg speed. They've worked very hard to get themselves in a strong position, but I don't want to harp on it too much, sure. But you go back to the Carazzo shot on goal. Beautiful piece of play. Took a nice mark, but it was sapping for his teammates to see that go astray.
No doubt, and it really hurts you. And on that occasion, it was Nick Stevens. The ball wasn't kicked out in front of him. I think it was Thornton who kicked the ball. Again, the turnover. Look, they're costing themselves. They've got to have belief now, Carlton. They know they got to this situation. We're playing attacking football. OK, let's get to three-quarter time. You might be a couple of points ahead. Don't give away the lead.
Still 2 minutes to be played. D's could still lead at three-quarter time yet. Wiggins to Scotland, inside 50. Favola at the front, got it down, Lappin to Houlihan was slick. Just needs to finish from 15.
Well done, Matty Wheeler.
It's a trip.
It's a trip. You'll get another shot.
Well, still, the actual gesture to try to get there and put that pressure on, great chase. But Carlton, well done. They found a way to get the ball up the other end, and Houlihan had the composure to take a bounce and
Nathan Carroll down
run into goal.
On his haunches. They're dropping like flies in the third term on both sides. It's been a very physical game in terms of collisions, but also in terms of running, an extremely taxing game. Here's the effort from Wheeler.
If he dives and tried that, you couldn't call that a trip, could you? He just...
No, he's just hit the ankle.
You hope he wouldn't be reported for that. Or they'd offside him, would they?
The old-fashioned ankle tap.
You could have.
Could, surely.
Houlihan, big kick with 85 seconds left on the clock to steady the Blues. And he does. Houlihan gets his first. The Blues get their second for the term. And they extend the margin back out to 9 points. We've played 27.5 minutes in the third term. Carlton 9-7-61, Melbourne 7-10-52. Here's Tony Shaw and Alistair Lynch.
Well, I always hear Nathan Carroll, and this is what happened. Oh, he headbutted his own teammate and just ran straight. He's got a hard head because that would have hurt Jared Rivers. He headbutted him. It was a big hit. But just one thing about, I look for trends with goal kickers. Carlton have kicked 2 from free kicks this quarter, where I said about Melbourne kicking 2 from free kicks in the second quarter. You need to find someone who can mark the ball or crumb a goal. It's so easy to, it just shows the trend at the moment. They are struggling in their forward line, Carlton.
Brendan Favola hasn't had a touch this term. Looked to be blowing up early in the quarter, just tiring early in this term.
Tell the speed of this game, you would be blowing up, I would think.
We've only had 5 goals kicked in this third term, but it's been a fantastic quarter of football. Stevens fires out a handball to Bentic. Too much on it for Lappin, the goal scorer. Houlihan, Lappin flung as he got rid of the ball. Whelan, Betts is closing, not quick enough. Brown, look out, he's got 4 to beat, 5 to beat, and did it well. Goes to Bartram, one more roll of the dice for the D's. 15 seconds remaining. Godfrey bangs it into the direction of Neitz, and the skipper obliges. As we wind down to three-quarter time, and this, in the context of this afternoon's match, is a big kick.
And it was a fantastic lead from David Neitz. He'd pushed, that was his second lead. He'd pushed out to the near wing and had to run hard to the other side to get a nice chest mark. And these are the times that David Neitz normally stands up. Beautiful kick on goal. This is exactly what Melbourne will need going into three-quarter time.
Leads the competition from set shot accuracy. 72% David Neitz. High ball. Well, that's not that accurate on this occasion. No score. And that's it for three-quarter time. 9-7-61 the Blues. The D's, they're coming 7-10-52.
It's all set up, isn't it, for a Saturday afternoon special. The Blues led by 14 points at the first change, 15 at half-time. And then in that third term, Melbourne added 3 goals to Carlton's 2 goals to. The margin at the final change, 9 points. Carlton 9-7-61. Melbourne 7-10-52. Don't go away. Carlton and Melbourne at the Dome. A last quarter special coming up on Fox Footy.
The Melbourne coach, Neil Daniher, has shown his hand here. He's gone with the bench players of Jamar, Jones, Brown and Bell. With all due respect, they're the lesser lights of the Demons list. He's put his best players in and around the ground. This is the time they start to fire up.
Final term at the Telstra Dome, Saturday afternoon football on Fox Footy. The Blues by 9 points. Ball socket clear of the congestion. McLean goes to ground with some help from Carazzo. Stevens bumped off it by Rivers. Carazzo wins it, gives it to Wiggins. Inside 50, looking for Fisher. Play on the call to the back of the contest, and Ben Holland sees it out for a throw-in, 25 metres out from the Carlton goal. Brad Fisher pleads his case.
No doubt. Well done to the umpire. He took a dive then, as he just fell forward in the contest, and the umpire didn't get sucked into that one.
The D's have dominated throw-ins most of the afternoon. French hit it to the back. It was a dangerous spot. Scotlanders couldn't get free to use it. Betts runs McLean down. Wheatley, Whelan. And Melbourne stand tall again, although Bruce goes to ground. He's got some support. Gets it back to Whelan. Whelan can go to Rivers. And he marks just backward of the wing. Goes to half forward. Godfrey flew early, gave away a free kick.
Oh,
he's gone the shepherding option against Lance.
He's saying that Lance Whitnell never looked at the ball in the marking contest.
Yeah, I think he's got it right too, sure. You see the replay, spot on.
Godfrey to the pocket. Lunging effort from Robertson, couldn't hang on. And we'll have a throw in 40 metres out from the Melbourne goal.
Yeah, good decision.
See that. And Lance Whitnell does that normally well most times.
Didn't argue either, Lance, with the decision. He knew he'd done it. French got it down to Stevens. Look away handball, put Walker under some pressure. Uze emerged with it. Little toe poke towards Bate. Sylvia tried to get it forward. Carazzo under pressure. The crunch came from Godfrey. Carazzo got it to Houlihan.
Great skill.
And Houlihan finds Whittle at half back.
He's got Lappin. He's spotted him. Can go. Wing position. Broadcast side of the ground. Great spot. He's picked out Scotland. He's got McGrath there, but ignores that. Now steers a low ball towards Fisher. Cutting it off was Whelan. Bruce stood in the tackle. Goes to Rivers. Wheatley. Normally a thumping kick. That's no exception. Bartram has to wait. Lappin got there late, but couldn't affect the spoil. He looks up, and there's 4 Carlton players down the line.
So well done to compose himself and just hold it up. It's easy enough to just blast in panic forward.
Called to play on.
Oh.
Risky kick. Whelan had to contest. He's got support. Rivers goes with a handball to McDonald. Over the top to Whelan. Pushing from defence. Look to White. Ignored that. Godfrey's worked hard and gets on the end of a terrific kick.
Now, this is a problem for Carlton because Lance Whitnell, he's playing on Godfrey at the moment. Godfrey's nearly playing a defensive half forward. Had a fantastic third quarter. You just don't allow these players to get under your guard. Lance Whitnell's got to be aware of his opponent.
7 touches in the third term, Simon Godfrey.
Not a noted goal kicker. He's kicked 14 goals from his 83 career matches.
He's not confident.
Will kick from right on 50. Simon Godfrey gets a good piece of it towards the goal square. Good spoil. The Blues happy to see it through for a rush behind.
He didn't want to kick that goal. He was looking off, even on the way in from a set shot. He was looking to give it off.
So the Blues regroup. They lead by 8 points. 7-11-53. 9-7-61 Carlton. Carazzo has it. Deep in defence. Chips to Thornton. He gives it off to Scotland. Houlihan's going to have a couple to beat, and White's one of them. Houlihan stood tall at the back.
Got to go long along the boundary line.
Steps inside McLean. Goes to White.
How are the skills there of Ryan Houlihan?
Sublime. White inside 50. Fisher in the middle of that pack. Holland wins it at ground level. Gave it to Green. Green to Whelan, and now McLean.
Numbers here.
McLean looks up. Carlton have got a couple of spare men back, so they're happy to run at them. McDonald can go over the top to White, or Wheatley chooses the latter. Wheatley will go inside 50. Neitz arrives. Russell with a timely fist. Lappin the fumble. Godfrey wrapped up. Ball spills for Russell. Now Walker sweeps one to Scotland. Lappin tumbles a kick towards Betts. Gets there on the half volley. Releases. All Melbourne. Whelan
Robinson
to
free.
Bell. Kick drops short. Lunging effort from Bentic. Robertson at the back. Flips it backwards to Ward. Ward will go towards the top of the square. White will arrive late and take a beauty.
I tell you what, David Neitz just got rid of Barnaby Bridge. Now, I don't know whether the umpire was blindsided on this one. You talk about shepherding off. Well, maybe Barnaby just fell at the knees, but sensational mark. Jeff Mark, he doesn't do this very often. As in, I say, take a lot of contested marks.
He's in the first part of his career, he used to jump well for the ball in packs and take some big marks, but yeah, most of it's uncontested possessions. But that was a great grab, just what the D's needed.
This to reduce the margin to 2 points. White sneaks it home. The D's are within a kick.
And they've gone well. Again, the Demons under a fair bit of pressure early in this quarter from Carlton. You felt in the third quarter the momentum had really turned. Absolutely smashed Carlton in the clearances, 11-4 in that third quarter. And they've been reasonable early in the last term. As Russell Robinson comes from the ground now after we look at that great mark.
Yeah, he's not right.
But Robinson's right shoulder is a major concern, not only for this week, but going forward.
We could see just moments ago when he tried to handball with that right arm, it was just lifeless.
I think he's gone for the game, boys. He just told his teammate to push up on the bench. In other words, I don't think I'm going back on the ground.
Hasn't had the best afternoon, Matthew Whelan. Has got a goal, but he's had 4 touches in this last quarter, along with another teammate in defence, Matthew Whelan. They're generating the run from defence now, the D's. White to McLean. McDonald's broken. Needs a kind bounce. Doesn't get one. Bate, terrific pick-up, but there to put some pressure on with a great tackle. Carazzo, McDonald taken high, and he wins himself the free kick.
I tell you what, the Carlton supporters are not happy.
Called to play on James McDonald. Just pops it up for McLean. Stevens will get there. Great spoil out of bounds.
OK, Carlton, what they've done now, Carlton, they've put Lance Whitnell, the centre-half forward, because they have fallen down there. You said it, they're rebounding from half-back, Melbourne, but they need a marking option, Carlton. It looks like it's Lance Whitnell.
Throw in, 65 metres from the Demons' goal. They're 2 points behind. White goes to Bartram. Simpson. Bartram with a big tackle. Right on the 50-metre arc, and we'll have a bounce with 14 and a half minutes remaining. The Blues by 2 points.
Your brave umpire to pay that one.
Oh, he couldn't pay that one. It was a good tackle, just held the ball tight in and had no opportunity to get rid of that one. And Walker's actually pushed back as a loose man in defence for Carlton.
Bentic from the stoppage just kicks to space. Ball trickles to the line and Ward can't keep it in.
And being a very good player, Walker, he's gone back to basically double-team David Neitz. He's got to be used on the way out. He's got to be accountable for his man at the other end, but also be used when running through the midfield.
French got to the front. McLean couldn't get effective disposal away. Stevens emerged with it, goes for a run. Handball dropped by Carrazzo. McDonald slid in, as did Lappin. Bait at ground level, won the football. Flips it free to White. Quick give to Bartram. Awkward looking handball to French. Lappin crunched. Waite. Now Russell. Uncertain of his options. Goes backward to Waite. Waite calls him in for a Shepherd. Kicks to Simpson. Ward didn't realise the ball was coming. Simpson kept his eyes on it. Rivers cuts across for Vola.
And Rivers is the loose man defence for the Demons.
That's why Favola should be deeper, I think. Getting behind the line so they can go with a bit longer, a bit more distance on the kick.
James McDonald is set up backward of the wing. He's got Bartram and uses him. He's 75 metres from goal. Neitz leads now. Green leads to the pocket. He heads to Green. Tried to prop and protect the drop zone, couldn't do so. Thornton loops it over the top. Carrazzo, an awkward one for him. It's been that kind of day. He did well on this occasion. Got it to Houlihan. High ball to the wing. Stevens has to stand and wait. Gets crunched. Umpire calls play on. It spills for Lappin. He's away. Can go towards Fisher. Favola the target. He's got Rivers beaten. Can run into an open goal, Brendan. And kick goal number 4.
Well, that's where he should be. That's his position. Get the distance, run the lines, carry the ball, and one-on-one, you don't beat Brendan Favola very often.
Especially in that position, Shorey. He's 30 metres out from goal. He had his direct opponent, who at that time was Rivers, caught under the ball. There was no way that Rivers was able to push back hard against Favola. You've got to do all you can, but just held him out nicely. Easy mark on the chest, and exactly what Carlton needed. Also, I'll be putting Favola back in that position. And also telling Eddie Betts, go and stand 10 metres in front of him.
Blues by 8 points as we head boundary side. Richard Osborne with a report on Russell Robertson.
Yeah, look, it's still a fair way to go, but if Melbourne will lose this game, at what cost? You'd suggest that Russell Robinson's done some serious damage to his right shoulder, because as you picked up in the call, Jace, he couldn't even handle that ball over his head, and when he came off the ground, he was just hanging that right shoulder, so he's definitely done for the day.
Straight up the interchange bench, interchange race, I should say. Russell Robinson. Bentic. Kick off the side of his boot. The goal scorer for the Blues, Brendan Favola, didn't get a good bounce. Carroll attacked it. It's willing out there. There's a lot to play for. One side finals bound. One side wants some pride. Bait. 80 metres from the Melbourne goal. Thumps it in the direction of Green. Terrific pick-up on the half bite. But he gets buried in a McGrath tackle. And the Blues, they're up. They're inspired. Betts, too much carry on the ball. McDonald to do the mopping up. Wheatley wanted it short. Neitz on the lead. Neitz got a hand on it, couldn't take it. Thornton there. Neitz with the tackle. That's not going anywhere. And we'll have a bounce.
Once again, the Demons just can't find a clean target inside 50. They've had plenty of the ball, but just the pass just a little bit high for David Neitz.
It's been a gripping contest from the start. It deserves a good finish. Free kick to the Blues. Free kick count today, 10-16 in favour of Melbourne.
Now take your time, Santangelo help, and just got to watch their disposal here. Even a shorter pass would be better, and that's the way he goes. Well done, know your limitations.
Chips it to Walker. Walker puts it out in front of McGrath, who has just worked tirelessly this afternoon.
Sensational, mate.
He's only had 12 possessions, but geez, covered some territory and just done so many things off the ball. Made him very valuable. Here's Luke Blackwell. His dad was playing the last time Carlton beat Melbourne twice in a season. It was 1986.
I'll tell you what Cade Simpson does so well. It's called angles as a midfielder. You know the ball will go to one side of the ground, but he'll work wing to wing, and if he's in the centre corridor, he'll work to the space just outside the 50-metre arc.
French to Scotland was perfect.
He's not,
but
surely.
Please, umpire.
That is a classic case of big ruckman using his body well. He was intent on going for the ball, there's no doubt, and using his body to, once again, protect the drop zone.
I just wonder whether a higher... Oh, that is sensational ruck work. A higher profile ruckman up against a workhorse ruckman, sometimes it just goes that way.
White to half forward. Walker will arrive and fly with a big fist.
Grab those, son.
He's prepared to punch the Toyota over the line.
Very disciplined, but it doesn't win you a car.
Won you a car 1 year, Lynchy?
Yeah, a few years ago. That was in the 80s, that one.
French to Stevens. Ward, high ball inside 50. O'Halpin sets himself. Great grab. Coming across Rivers. Just had the momentum into the contest as Whitnell comes off to be replaced by Koutafidis.
Well, that could have nearly been Jared Rivers' man, Whitnell, coming off the ground, because he had pushed from half back to go into this marking contest. You know, if you come on the ground, you might as well push forward.
I think Rivers was the loose man in defence.
Yeah.
Walker's man up there.
Hadn't scored until this season. He's kicked 3 goals, 3 now from his 54 games. That's a big kick. That's a big goal for the D's.
It was a very big kick, and I think as we see the players take their positions again, I feel that's Walker's man. That's the only thing about playing a loose man in defence. There's a hint of unaccountability because your man is 100 metres away, but when you've got a smart player like Rivers, he can sneak down and can do some damage as he's done on that occasion.
Well, if you're a loose man in defence, of course you've got to go and try and get near the forward 50 arc if it's in that end of the ground, you know. If you're a loose man,
exactly.
If Carlton are in control of the ball, OK, play your kick and a half behind play, but when Melbourne's got it, go forward.
And it appears that Walker has taken up his position on Godfrey.
2-point margin here, just under 10.5 minutes remaining. What have the Blues got left in the tank? Stevens has got plenty. Drills the pass to White. And that's the best tonic when the opposition kicks a goal.
Tell you what I like about Nick Stevens today. You know, people say that he's a receiver, but I think a number of times today he has won the ball in the pack area, then released it again and done the old 1-2, which means you become a very creative player.
Jared White got a goal in the second term. He's got a goal in the fourth term.
They won't lay down this mob.
And nor should they with a wooden spoon on the line. They lead by 8 points, 15 minutes gone, final term.
And as a team that's been on the bottom of the ladder, and I've been with a few of them over my journey, but all you do, you get to this time of the year, it is about pride, and it's about trying to shape the 8 yourself. You're not going to be there in September, but if you can do some damage and make some teams think back, what about that game against Carlton that we just should have been better at?
Well, I've coached the side to a wooden spoon, and there was a lot of joy, only 4 wins in the season, but that's all you want in supporters is a competitive spirit that you have just kept at it and at least show you're putting your body on the line. And this is what Carlton, they might lose here today, and hopefully they might get across the line, but if they do, you can see something here for the future of this club.
They lead by 8 points, 15 and a half gone, final term at the Dome. French tap to Koutafidis. Spilt to Scotland. Stevens wrapped up by Sylvia. Coming through is O'Halpin.
Well done.
Inside 50. Bell in best position takes the relieving mark.
Just the pick up from ground level by Santandro O'Halpin just shows his athleticism.
D's need the next goal. Scotland over the top of McLean. Fisted it away and Whelan will take it to the line.
Well done, Scotland.
And Tony, sure happened, times change. I didn't think I'd ever hear an ex-premiership captain of Collingwood say, I hope Carlton get over the line.
Well, I said as in effort, and you didn't listen properly. I said the effort that they put in, they deserve to be up there.
Sure, he's not biased. He hates everybody equally. Stevens inside 50. Carroll can slip away for the D's. You look up the ground, you'll see Bate versus Karate. Great chase from Russell. Couldn't quite stick the tackle, so Carroll will get another go. But look at the pressure. The pressure from Russell forced the turnover. Fantastic football from the youngster playing game number 10. It's opened the door for Lappin. Lappin can go inside 50. Fisher's got the sit. Couldn't hang on. Betts front and centre. Favola with the banana.
Oh, it's out in the full.
This is the lot.
There was no banana in that kick, unfortunately for Fev.
Margin stays at 8 points, 8.5 minutes remaining.
Now, there should not. You've got to push over and help your teammate because the ball's on one side of the ground here. Free kick taken from the pocket. Don't allow them to switch and make them kick the ball long.
Holland, short, not the best option, turns it over immediately.
That's
Simpson.
what you want to do. Keep that pressure on there.
Fisher wants it short, goes in that direction, not the best option. Favola, quick hands to Eddie, onto the free kick. French put his head over the ball. White's in there working hard. Eddie, kick smothered. Whelan, almost nice. Straight to Fisher. Jones relieves for the moment, out in the direction of Bartram, and Walker did well. Walker provided the shepherd from McGrath. The Blues, they want this win desperately. Walker gets it back from McGrath.
Free kick.
Free kick.
It's going to come back.
No, it's coming back. Corey McGrath.
Haven't their youngsters stood up the Blues in this last term?
Tell you who's made a difference too. Matthew Lappin has come back hungry this afternoon as Eddie Betts makes his way to the bench again. Carazzo inside the square, off a step, high ball. Watch out for Waite.
There's a call of yours, you'd think there.
No, he looked at Fisher and Fisher looked at him. Just the communication wasn't good enough.
But as a forward...
He looks at, you go, I'll go. Oh, bad luck.
I think there were 2 calls of yours, unfortunately.
Yeah, and as a coach, I'm sure you'd like to see 2 blokes just crash into each other.
Nathan Jones, margin 9 points. Wheatley goes for a run. Squares it into the corridor. It was a good kick to Bartram. Bartram can go down the outer side. He can go to the city wing. He's got Godfrey.
He's been loose, Godfrey.
Green leads to the pocket. He's got a couple of metres on Houlihan.
And a rare sight. Nice long pass.
He's a beautiful finisher. Tough angle for a left footer. What a kick. With 7.25 minutes left in this game. Melbourne, a couple of weeks ago, went over to Perth, blew a chance to cement a spot in the top 2. Things starting to turn against them. A loss here could be so costly in the race for the top 4. Green from the angle. It's across the face. Off hands for a minor score. Pressure continues to build.
Gee, they've got a loose man, Carlton.
Walker at defensive 50. The margin 8 points as we head towards time on. Bentic chips to Blackwell.
Got some smart midfielders of the future. You can just see again Bentic, Blackwell. Bentic just come off the bench, but Blackwell used his angles very well then.
Favola and Carroll. Good contest.
Yeah, I think Carroll had a fair piece of that in between Fev's first touch.
Gee, they play a few of those though, Alistair.
Yeah, sometimes.
Touch under 6.5 minutes remaining. Carlton, they lead by 8 points.
Still push Fev back to the square, I think.
French and Jamar lock arms. Wheatley left it for Carroll, put his head down the old-fashioned way. Uze has had a dog of an afternoon. High ball, O'Halpin. Rivers, was it a free kick? Not according to the umpire. Carazzo, lovely little pickup, goes to Bentic. He'll mark in between the interchange benches for both sides.
Yeah, the Carlton players normally work very hard for the ball just to find some space.
Carazzo has to wait. Bell. All he had to do was stand the mark there, Daniel Bell.
Oh, trouble.
Carazzo runs himself into some trouble. He's got a supporting player, Lappin. Goes backwards. Walker to Carazzo. Jamar comes and lets Carazzo know what it's all about. The Blues, they work it forward. Too much on that for Koutafidis and Uze. And we'll have a throw in 80 metres from the Carlton goal.
It's heart in the mouth stuff. It's heart in the mouth stuff.
It is, and Carlton just made the mistake in the back half. If you're going to chip the ball around short, make sure it's a mark so you don't have to play on.
Dennis Pagan's heart rate would be going through the roof right now, as would Neil Danaher's. The D's with plenty on this one, as do the Blues. Carazzo's beautiful. Russell the give to McGrath on the run. Wasn't a percentage option, but it might work. Play on! Jared Wade has almost taken one of the marks of the year.
I'm looking forward to see the replay on this one. Jared Waite's a little bit disappointed, it's fair to say, but he's got the right paw out there.
Still there for the Blues. Will Melbourne try to fist it through? It's at the top of the square. Godfrey wins it to Whelan. Melbourne run it off half-back. Ward back to Godfrey, to the wing. Green stands underneath it, was taken out, will get a free kick.
This could hurt.
Now Carlton players
There
are
we
going to
go.
get behind the line.
He's dropped that.
He has. Green, inside 50.
He's been good today.
Hasn't he stood tall?
And a good sign there for Melbourne. Actually, Russell Robinson's back out there, so they feel his shoulder's good enough to have another crack.
Walker to Whitnell. Gathers it up. White got a hand in there, smothered the handball, keeps it in the zone for Melbourne. And we take a breath. Let's assess the situation. 22 and a half minutes gone. Carlton by 8 points. Melbourne's double chance hopes looking a little shaky. The Blues looking to give the wooden spoon to Essendon with 4 rounds to go.
Green, quick handball to Bell. Can he release a player? He does. Wheatley goes back to Ward. Steering kick towards Robertson. Too much carry on the ball. Rivers, he's already got one. Can it be 2? Jared Rivers. Not on this occasion. Coming back, but not enough. Now it's a 7-point margin.
Have they pushed Jared Rivers as a permanent forward? I think he might have.
He may have gone forward.
And Satano Holton's got the match-up.
Russell Robinson, when he went for that last ball, though, that right shoulder didn't go up.
Yeah,
so
that's right,
he's obviously had some treatment. It may have had an injection, but it's still not functioning properly.
Would you have him? I know it's a critical game, but would you have him out on the ground? Obviously, his right shoulder is gone.
Unless they think, Rozzy, that he can't hurt it anymore. You get what I mean? And yeah, it's a bit of a risk, but they need to win this game.
Stevens has it on the wing. The Blues by 7 points. Under 4 minutes of game time on the clock. Waite presents and marks 80 metres from goal.
He presents well.
You know what? He is super quick. No one can go with him on the lead. He's playing on Cameron Bruce. And you talk about Cameron Bruce, gee, he's been quiet in the last 25 minutes.
Favola, Waite, Fisher. It's the nucleus of a very good forward line going forward for the Blues.
There's space for Favola into the pocket.
Russell has it. Cooter's deep as well. They head in that direction. Jamar will arrive late. And fist it to the line. 3 minutes 18 on the clock. The Blues by 7 points. Melbourne need to score twice. Carlton fans in fine voice. Favola. Blackwell. Carroll tries to flip to advantage. Green wrapped up by Blackwell. And will have a bounce. 25 metres out from Carlton's goal.
One player's been very good in this quarter for Carlton has been Barnaby French.
French, spot on.
Jeez, body work, yeah, just very competitive.
The two coaches look on. There's little they can do from here. Jones, he's wrapped up by Blackwell and will do it all again.
And Carlton are happy with this. Normally, as at a forward stoppage, you look to clear the space, try to open it up. They're happy with numbers around here, not to let the Demons out.
3 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. The Blues and the Demons. The Blues and the Demons have put on a fantastic match this afternoon. Are the Demons done with yet? We'll have to wait and see. Neats didn't get a kind bounce. Thornton to Lappin. What a return to the senior side Matthew Lappin's had this afternoon. Houlihan, normally a good finisher at the disposal. Goes to Simpson. Cade Simpson. Finish it off, young man. Yes, he does.
He's finished off a nice bit of work up the field, and he's finished off the game.
Does he work?
And they are very happy, as they should be, the young Blues players. They have come here to take on a top 4 team, and they have out-pressured, out-attacked Melbourne.
Bad kick there. Brown to Neats, under his knees. You know that at his age, David Neats doesn't want to bend down there. And the ball to Houlihan has got great vision. He had Stevens on too, I think, on this occasion. Gee, I love this player because he's not that big. He's a very smart player, as I said, uses and plays the angles. And his work rate and his possession rate has been sensational last 5 weeks.
When Carlton lost their draft picks in 2002, their first pick was 45. Cade Simpson was still available. They were delighted, and they snapped him up in a heartbeat. And you can see why. He's playing game number 39 this afternoon, and he is blossoming into a future star for the Blues. 13 points. Carlton have got a stranglehold on it. Melbourne needs something special from here. Chance to really cement the double chance for Melbourne. Could go begging this afternoon. McGrath to Scotland. The Blues are finishing strong. Stevens can go over the top to Russell. Heads in that direction. Jordan Russell drops it at 50, but will get a free kick. Got one over the shoulder.
He was fortunate to get the free kick. Just took his eyes off the ball at an important time.
What about Stevens on his non-preferred? Just turned on his non-preferred and knew he was running in the space.
Russell goes short to Koutafidis. Rivers arrived and forced a contest. Melbourne must attack up the middle. Uze does just that to Nathan Brown. The D's have got less than 2 minutes to kick a couple of goals, and then some.
Spin around quick, get it long.
Bate will go deep. He's got White in the square, heads in that direction. It's a booming kick. Robertson at the front. Ricochets off O'Halpin, and the Blues stand tall again. Houlihan keeps it alive to Whitnell. Now to Thornton, and now Walker.
Arguably one of his best games in the Carlton jumper, Andrew Walker towards Stevens. Happy to see that over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in in front of the Melbourne interchange bench. It's a 13-point margin. That man there has had his work cut out, but it could be a terrific afternoon for Dennis Pagan and the Blues. A minute 17 remaining. They deserve the win, the Blues. Nothing to lose. Stevens, is there one more roll of the dice? Towards Favola. He's outnumbered 2-1. Needs to be clean. He's got no one forward. Getting back there, filling the hole, Matthew Whelan and Adam Uze. And Uze gets it from Whelan, and they go. But the clock will beat the D's this afternoon.
Godfrey to 50. Neats went early, got O'Halpin's back. Satana will get the free kick. Goes short to McGrath, who's been one of Carlton's best. Scotland. It's been such an even contribution from the Blues right across the ground. Here's a chance for Bentic to finish it in style. Can go short to Stevens, but gave it up. Rivers denies Carlton fans one more moment of ecstasy. But they're only 20 seconds away from one now. The ball's with White, and he will kick with possibly the last kick of the game.
What a great feeling for the Carlton Football Club. It's been a long, long time between drinks. They will enjoy this immensely, and they deserve the right, no doubt. Their work rate's been first class.
Jeff White. Kicks a goal. Do Carlton fans care? Not at all. Wonderful performance from the Blues. Carlton 12-8, Melbourne 10-13. Let's listen to the song.
We are the baby blues. We are the old baby blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team on Carlton knows. We're all the champions. They like to send up. We'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark Blues.
Even when the Blues were at their best in the mid-90s to late 90s, Melbourne were a bogey team. This is the first time in 20 years that Carlton have beaten Melbourne twice in the one season, and what a year to do it. Carlton 12-8-80, defeat Melbourne 10-13-73. The Blues led from the 10-minute mark of the first term and never looked back. They held the lead for the remainder of the game and thoroughly deserved their 7-point victory. Favola finished with 4, Fisher booted 3, Waite 2, singles to Simpson, Lappin and Houlihan, while White and Neats finished with 2 apiece for the Demons. As we head down to Richard Osborne with Brendan Favola, who finished with 4.
Bev, great win, mate. How you feeling?
Mate, bloody awesome. Can't believe we won, mate. We haven't won for a while. We had the draw with the Bombers, and we played pretty good footy last week, but we're in and out. But today we played 4 quarters of good footy and tough footy, which is good.
I can tell you why you won. You played better than them on the day, mate. Sensational. What did Dennis Pagan say throughout the course of the game? Melbourne kept at it. There were stages where they, if they kicked a few more goals, they might have pinched it. But what was the coach's message?
Dennis just said, play the footy that we've been playing. Last quarter against Fremantle really showed we can run with the footy, and we're a fit team, and we just ran with the footy, and they couldn't keep up with us in the midfield. Our blokes were too quick, and our defenders were strong, and we got the goals on the board.
You got some terrific young kids too. Waite, Walker, just to name a few.
You look at the blokes that are knocking Dennis, and you just think that his coaching, Ryan Houlihan, Adam Bentic, Kate Simpson, Andrew Carrazzo, Andrew Walker, Brent Thornton, East Scotland, all had their best years they've ever had in AFL footy, and we're going to go places, mate. A couple of years will be right.
I know you boys have to watch it these days, having a few drinks. Maybe go home and have a cup of tea, Feb, but good stuff, mate.
Thanks. Hi, Alex, Moo and Lenny.
Good boy.
Brendan Favola, superb again with 4 goals this afternoon as Carlton fans sing the song after a game for the first time since round 7 against the Bombers. We said at the start of the day, boys, that if Carlton could put 4 quarters together, they are a dangerous combination.
And
They haven't been able to do it, but today they did.
And hit the targets. They were better at that today, and certainly to hold your footing and be precise with your kicking was difficult today. But they were very passionate. They put in 4 quarters of very good effort, and it just appeared that maybe the Demons came here just expecting it to happen.
Well, it didn't. It looked that way early because they got off to a great jump. But I tell you what, Brendan Favola, he's disciplined himself this year, hasn't had a drink for the year, so well done to him, and he's leading the way with this group.
Carlton 12-8-80, Melbourne 10-73.
With all the champions, they like to send up, we'll kick our end up, and they will know.